Okay, good morning. We are live on all 13 out of 15 channels. We should have the other channel up here in a few days and be at 15 out of 15 again. But I got to take down for some, they said medical misinfo, and there was nothing, there was only just me holding up a bottle of triage oil saying you can take RSO and make the triage oil with it. That was all I said. And they said medical misinfo. And then I had them, hey, freaking Oracle, what's up, buddy? I appealed and they denied the appeal. They said, after careful review of your video, we've determined that this was medical misinformation. And I was like, okay, it wasn't. There was absolutely no misinformation anywhere in my entire video. I watched the whole thing twice. And I never put out medical misinformation. So, what I thought about doing was going on that channel and then contacting support and getting a real person on and being like, dude, you guys screwed up. There's no medical You're going to have to point to me where I'm misinforming my audience. And of course, they wouldn't be able to. They'd have to give me the channel back. But it's, like I said, it's my first channel. It wasn't a big one.
Freaking Oracle show. I'm still streaming 9 hours, 15 minutes, har har har.
Oh, nice. You're still alive? Right on, buddy. I hope you got some viewers over there.
Ryan Webb. Hey, Nay, how's it going? Don't sound good. Didn't see the video.
How's it going? Don't sound good.
The freaking Oracle show. 6.
You got 6 viewers? Holy shit, dude. I got one more than you. Because of you. Because of you. I should go to your show and give you 7, bro. God, you've been streaming for 9 hours? Finally, vacation time, open live panel live. That's not it.
Cassie.
Dude, they don't even show me your latest. They don't even show me your latest show that you're live.
Destiny
bastards.
Good morning.
And like properly trained and
started streaming 9 hours. Oh my God, dude. Oh, look at all these dudes there.
The freaking Oracle show. Har har har, yes.
Dude, did those guys join in this morning? Here, thumbs up, buddy. It says 5 watching. I guess your people are coming over to see me because I went live. Oh yeah. You know, that guy that you got in there, Tim, he owes me an apology. He owes me a huge apology. So anyway, we're going to be talking about Joe, my buddy Joe. Shut the fuck up, shit lib.
Oracle show. Says 7 now.
Says 7 now. Because I just went in there. I went in there and said 5, but that's cool. This guy, STFU shitlib, he's a great guy. Love him. I think he's awesome. Him and I would probably be great friends, hang out all the time and shit. But he believes that 9/11 was some sort of a controlled demolition or whatever. And he's put up some video of these idiots that say they've got the science that proves that it was a controlled demolition, right? And there's just this one part in this video. I pulled it right up. That is so funny. This one stupid part in this video you guys have to see. Now, this is the science that STFU shitlib Joe, my buddy, and I love you. And if you ever watch this show, I want you to know I love you, bro. No offense, but you're wrong on this shit. This isn't science. This is 2 men playing with a snowman, okay? And you think that this somehow proves that an airplane with full of jet fuel, highly flammable jet fuel, which none of those other buildings made an example of, portrayed in this video. And there's a bunch of other buildings that caught fire that didn't fall. None of them were hit with fucking an airplane filled with jet fuel. It was a fire that broke out somewhere in the building, an electrical thing or whatever. Yeah, they put the fire out. It wasn't a big deal. This was jet fuel. Everything caught on fire, bro. How is that so hard to understand? Jet fuel. Why? And none of those examples had airplanes with jet fuel, like a jetliner full of jet fuel. How much flammability is that to add in to what happened at 9/11. Why won't you consider that one fact, bro? The thing that bothers me is that you'll literally put a video like this on Twitter without just going over some basic common sense shit or just coming and talking to me, bro. I'll straighten you out. Come over here, listen to me, and I'll straighten you about the whole thing, man. This right here is not science. So watch this. Everybody watch. This is hilarious. See that?
What could not have happened.
See, the snow proves it. The snow proves it because the snow had a jetliner that was full of fuel that bashed into the top of it and set everything. Oh, that's right. They didn't do that to the snow. Oh, that's right. That's not how science works. Just because somebody makes a display, digital display, and shows something working a different way, that doesn't make it science, Joe. You know, and they've got plenty of digital, what you would call
Ryan Webb.
mock-ups.
Plus mix water with aluminium and you get a bomb literally.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But look at this.
Is this?
Little tiny chunk of the building can't pop.
You know, it's like they've got all these digital representations and shit. This is the way it should have happened, and this is what my science, and I've got a beard, so I know what I'm talking about. And oh, I'm a scientist, and this is science, and this is snow. And look at the way the snow falls, and oh, look at all these other buildings that caught on fire, and they didn't pancake, and they didn't geometrically fall down on top of each other perfectly as if it was controlled. No, what? They just fall over and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, dude, not the same thing. We watched it happen. We watched it happen. The only explosions you saw going down when that building was pancaking was all of the stuff on each floor blowing out from the weight. Now, you would see the explosions before the building fell, not as it's falling. It is so dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. But, you know, he's not going to come on here, I guess, and talk to me about it. So this argument's not going to go anywhere. This line of subject matter is not going to go anywhere, and nobody in the chat is partaking, so we'll just end it right now. Okay, cool. Stop. Cool. Now I'm down to 4 viewers. Okay, great. Thanks for that. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for showing up today. All 4 of you.
Froggy. 4.
You know, my mom said something hilarious. I'm like, no, Mom, they placed explosives on every floor. It was a controlled demolition. My mom's like, how would they have walked into the building with all of those explosives? I said, they used the construction elevators. They had somebody gave the terrorists access to the, locked, service elevators. And then once they came out of the service elevators, everyone just looked the other way when all these guys that were carrying explosives and somehow getting onto the I-beams of the building, which aren't even exposed, somehow placing those explosives inside the skeleton of the building. And dude,
Lisa,
are you freaking kidding me?
Good morning, Nay.
Lisa, hello. Let me give you some facts. Osama bin Laden attacked the United States, killed 3,000 Americans on that day. A bunch of people were in airplanes. They died too. Okay, so that's it. Those are the facts. Hey, Jody, it's not like it's rocket science, because it wasn't. He just flew planes into a fucking building, and the jet fuel ignited very hot stuff. Jet fuel, it's got to be. It burns really hot and really fast. And you mix that with a bunch of materials inside a fucking skyscraper, and you've got, a fucking demolition of the building. And we saw it happen twice. So, there's 2 little examples of it happening. When you're dealing with that kind of heat and that kind of energy and that kind of fuel, I don't understand why that's so difficult for people to grasp. Oh, come on, man. God, okay. A woman that takes care of my dad has arrived. Okay, let's put that on the charger. There we go. My phone got down to 38%. Oh my God.
Tutorials 101. SRY, but jet fuel cannot melt steel.
It did melt it, and we watched it melt it. So you're an
Dominic Mann.
idiot for thinking that it can't.
Good morning,
because
Manny.
it did. Go look at go watch those buildings melt and fall over, dude. So, look, no BS tutorials. Look, I'm just going to block you because you just came on my live stream and literally lied to my audience. So no liars allowed in here, buddy. You can try to disagree with me, but you're going to have to do it without lying to my audience. You can't state a fact, act like it's a fact, and instead it's a lie, and then I'm just going to let you stay in here. No. You got to leave. You're gone. So, you're either agreeing with the facts or you're telling lies. Hilarious. Anybody else? I got any little tidbits from the internet memes that you want to try to use to disprove the facts of what happened on that day? Anybody else? Before we move on? Thermite, no, there's this and it can't melt and aluminum and what? Anybody else? No, nobody else. Didn't think so. I love how people come in here and think they're a fucking scientist, It didn't take long for that fucking jet fuel to melt that aluminum either, did it? It didn't take long at all. Nothing else? Slow news day, huh? Harley, you want to go outside? You want to go outside? You want to come inside? One or the other. I got to close this. It's too hot. Make up your mind. Too damn hot. That humidity is coming right in here and soaking me.
Cafe.
I know you guys are feeling
morning to
climate.
you.
I don't care what you guys say in my live chat. I know this is affecting everybody. And I know I live in one of the hottest states in the United States with the most humidity. But at the same time, you can't sit there and lie to me and act like this has not affected you. It has. Maybe you're not realizing it because it's gradual or whatever. But, bro, the sweat. I've never sweat so much in my entire life. And, hey, man, this is just coming from the shower to eat breakfast to sit over here and do a live stream. I'm not even... Well, I did do a little working out this morning. A little bit. But not enough to, start profusely sweating an hour later. So over here to the right, what we've got is this man. He's demonstrating how much knowledge he has of the subject he's talking about.
I have 40 plus every year.
That's how much knowledge he has of the subject he claims to be an expert on, just so you know. But he's got a beard and he's wearing an Oxford shirt, so he must be a scientist and understand what he's talking about. He's got computer models that prove what he's saying is true. Just like little circle, dot, doctor. He thinks when he circles and dots and puts check marks next to things, he thinks that proves what he's saying is true. Oh, God. People are so easily fooled because they're so dumb. Dumb. I have 40 plus every year. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, I'm going to smoke a little cannabis because I haven't smoked any, and that is going to start the show off finally. I promise you. Okay? What do you guys think? You want to get a little smoky time in? Good idea? There was a deer back there. I don't know where it went. I think it took off. I thought I saw a deer. I think it's gone now. Man. I dug a trench yesterday. You want to see it? See that trench right there? Through the window? Here. See that trench right there? You like that? See that? I exposed the sprinkler thing, right? Nice trench. See that? See my trench I done? Can you guys see my trench that I done? Can you guys see the trench that I dug? Can you guys see the trench that I dug? Can you guys see the trench that I dug? Can you guys see the trench that I dug? Can you guys see the trench that I dug? Can you guys see the trench that I dug? Can you guys see the trench that I dug? Can you see the trench? You see the trench? See the trench that I dug? You guys see the trench? You guys see the trench that I dug? You guys see the trench that I dug? I dug that trench. Do you guys see it? You see the trench that I dug? You guys see it? You guys see the trench that I dug? Oh, thanks,
Fernie.
Lisa. You know, what I don't understand
Yes, I
is
see trench.
why is it so freaking hard for you guys to answer me? I'm literally talking to y'all. And I just don't understand why it's so hard to get you guys to fucking respond.
Leo. Cheers to that.
Cheers to my trench. Okay, thank you. You guys are so supportive and awesome and responsive to me.
Jody Melnick.
8-ball. That doesn't even make sense. Okay, that's an 8-ball. Yeah, what are you snorting cocaine? You snorting an 8-ball of cocaine?
Jody Melnick. Trench technology.
Trench tech. I like that. Thank
Destiny
you.
Lapland.
Yes, this is the trench that I dug.
I got her do one by my door. The rain is getting crazy.
Good stuff. Thank
Jody
you.
Melnick.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
It's a good trench, right? It's a good trench, right? Well, we've got to put a drain in, and I figured I'd save the guys the trouble of digging it because I like the exercise of digging. It's good for my upper body strength, and I like the cardio when I'm digging. So, you know, I was like, I'll dig the trench, you know, instead of paying somebody else to do it, I'll do it. I'll get the physical benefit from it. And then they can lay the
Froggy.
best trench ever. That's
you
what I'm
thrown
talking
your
about.
rod
Hey, man, I'm not hard
Jody
to please. I'm not
Best
hard to
trench
please, man.
ever.
I'm just asking for a little attention. That's all. You give me a little attention, I'll give you my whole world, man. You know?
Destiny Lapland. Hell yeah, you wanna come do mine?
No, thank you. Go hire somebody. Go hire somebody with real muscles. Here, wait, you know what?
Nays Garden. Download Twitter or visit twitter.com and search at Nays Garden, at Nays Garden Show, at Truthian News for the full podcast experience.
Yeah.
YouTube channel at Truthian News
Yeah.
on Twitter.
I wish you guys would go to Twitter. Listen to that guy. You know, I have to pay money so people will like my tweets. Because if they see them, they like them. Because they're good. My tweets are well written. And if people see them, if you put it in front of enough people, they'll respond. But of course, Twitter doesn't put it out there on the plate for people to see and even judge. They just hide it from them. So no one sees it. So if you pay them money, then they'll serve it up a little bit. They'll serve it up a little bit. They still won't serve it up like they serve up an average Twitter user's account or posts. But, you know, they'll serve it up and you'll get some attention and whatever. And then they'll fucking take your money, you know. And I ended up getting a whole bunch of likes and retweets. Sure, none from y'all. Like none from you guys
Leo.
compared to what's going on
people
Twitter. I
debunking
mean,
9
it would be just so
11
nice if my own audience would
with
go over there.
P.S.
If my own audience would go over there and
Destiny
support me,
Lapland.
I wouldn't have to fucking
I made
pay
one just
money
for you. Mostly
try to
everything
get
on it is your
seen.
videos.
What happened? People are people debunking 9/11 with these. Well, you're not debunking anything. They are not debunking anything. They're still putting out their counter narrative like it was some kind of a controlled demolition, and I'm just laughing my ass off. I made one just for you. Mostly everything on it is your videos. Destiny, thank you. Destiny, I rarely ever see you liking or retweeting my tweets. Seriously, I appreciate you doing that. But I mean, I'd like to see like, retweet, comment on every single one of my tweets from all of you. That would help get me out there. But, I paid some money and they do a better job than my audience does. You would just think that my own audience would support my narrative. But I guess you guys are just here to get high and laugh. So, okay, let's get high and laugh. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers. So hot. Now that's a bong sweat. Holy moly. Dominic Leo, dude, you're one of my favorites. You know why, bro? Because you're out there trying to help me on Twitter, man, and I see you on there trying to help me, and I appreciate you, bro. I love that you're on Twitter trying to help out the cause.
Leo. Have done that to make the water run away from the house. Great job, Nay.
Well, yeah. I'm putting in a huge. I think Dominic's behind. He needs to fast forward to the front of the video. We were talking about that a long time ago. He's not. That means he's not going to hear what I'm saying right now. So, if you guys would all just fast forward the video to the front, so we could all be in real time. That might be one of the problems too. Is I ask you guys a question, no one answers because you guys are rewound like 5 minutes back. Look at the sweat coming off of me from that bong hit. Oh my god, I need more cooling. Holy shit, it's so hot. I asked you guys, anyone in the chat, experiencing the heat from climate change, and no one ever responds to that. It's funny. I'm feeling it. Every time I come get in the corner of this house right here, man. I mean, I'm fine around the rest of the house, but once I close off the air conditioning, not everybody's got nice AC in their home.
Yes, it's hot as hell.
Thank you, Destiny. Yes, it's hot as hell. It's hot as a new climate change planet, Oh my god. Hot as hell, man. So my girlfriend said to me, honey, your hair's turning yellow. And I said, what? She goes, yeah, your hair's yellow. I go, what do you mean? And she's like, it's from the sun. She's like, your hair's yellowing. She's like, there's a product you can use that'll make it white again. And she's like, I'm going to get you some. I'm like, okay. and she brought this to me. It's a purple shampoo, which I don't use shampoo, right? Well, I am now. It's a purple shampoo, and it's supposed to clean the hair down to its normal color or whatever. I don't know, but I was in my bathroom this morning, and I was looking at my hair from the side. It was all dry, before I had my conditioner in and stuff. And it was the first time, and I saw the yellow in my hair. I was like, oh my God, I can see it's yellow. My hair is yellow. I never noticed it before, I was like, well, I got to get rid of that, man. I don't want it to look yellow. I want it to be white. So I'm hoping after, using the shampoo for a while, the white comes back. You can't really tell, I guess, on camera so much. I'm looking, and it looks white. But in the sunlight, and up here a little bit higher where it looks like the sun hits it, you can see it, man. I guess the sun does that. I don't know, anybody with white hair knows, in the chat, let me know. So, hey now. There just happens to be a napkin right there. Perfect. God damn, that couldn't have been any more awesome than it was. This little drip of coffee went over, but there's a napkin. I know. I usually go live 2 hours from now. It's early.
Sun bleaching your hair is a real thing.
And it turns yellow. You would think it would turn white, but I guess the sun bleaches white hair yellow. Because I've been out in the sun
Jacob
a lot.
Matviv. Receding hairline at 26.
Jacob, you might be able to do something about that receding hairline, because I started noticing my hair was receding and I wanted to do something about it. So I do two things. I scrub my scalp every time I put conditioner in my hair. I don't use shampoo. Every time I put conditioner in my hair, now I do for the whitening thing, but that just started 2 days ago. I scrub my scalp really good, especially around the areas where I'm receding. And there is a device you can get. It's an electronic stimulator. It's like a Tesla ball, but it's a rod. And it's got the little electricity thing running in it. You touch it to your skin, it goes zzz, zzz, zzz. And that seems to be stimulating the pores and sparking new hair growth. You guys don't believe me? Check it out. Watch this. Here, let me turn up the brightness here a second. Or I'll just go from this side. Yeah. Do you see some... Don't mind the conditioner that's in there. Do you see the short white hairs right there? See those short white hairs? And some of them are dark colored hair. Look. This is all new growth, guys, since I started using that thing. So it ain't bullshit. It really does work. And since I started regrowing my hair up here, I started doing my eyebrows too, man. I'm like, I wonder if it'll turn my eyebrows brown because they're turning white.
There are still
and I don't want white eyebrows, So I'm using the stimulator. I always just pluck the white hairs off my eyebrows. Nice. But I'd rather them just grow back black, brown. And it's a little harder to tell with my eyebrows because I pluck those. Or I don't pluck them, I shave them down, actually, with a razor. There you go. But we'll see if we see new growth with the eyebrows, because I just started doing my eyebrows, too. And that'll be so funny if the white goes away from that stimulator. Because look at this hair right here. This is dark. It's a dark hair. Oh, I've even got hair growing off the tops of my ears now. I figure that's an old man thing. I had to shave. I was like, dude, there's hair literally growing off the tops of my ears. I've never seen that before. Inside my ear, yeah. But never on the ear itself. I didn't realize there were hair follicles on the outside of the ear. Well, I took a razor and I cut those right off. I was like, that's gross. Old man, I got hair growing everywhere. That's actually a real thing. I didn't realize that, man. Well, man, why won't it start growing out of my scalp and out of my eyebrows again then, you know? There are still baby hairs. I wear a hat. I work in construction. Okay. Put a bandana on under your hat. Okay, so the hat's not rubbing. That's really bad. Get the stimulator. Bro, Jacob, get the stimulator and try it out. I'll find you a link on Amazon, okay?
Matviv. Bet.
Way back, okay.
Lapland.
What do they call
Your hair
it?
looks really nice.
What do they call that thing? It's a I put in the word electronic, it didn't come up. Fuck. I don't want to get up to go look at the box to see what it says. My hair looks really nice. Thank you. This is all growing back, guys. Look at this. This is all growing back. I gotta remember what that thing is called. Oh. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. New Derma portable handheld high-frequency skin therapy wand machine. $69. It makes wrinkles go away too, they claim. So they claim. Okay, there's a link to the device. If you want to look it up, it's called a Nuderma portable handheld high-frequency skin therapy wand machine with neon, anti-aging, skin tightening, wrinkle reducing, dark circles, blemish control, hair and scalp stimulator. It does say hair and scalp. I'm telling you, they showed somebody stimulating the lines under their eyes, and you can see an improvement. There's less lines. It's not as wrinkled.
Leo. It was hotter than a duck on a hot plate dancing around not to brun their fret.
I got you, Dami. It's Dom's still trying to catch up with the live show, guys. Now Dominic is addressing the heat issue that we were talking about 20 minutes ago, or 10 minutes ago.
Matviv. Got it.
Got it? You got it? Brother, I am telling you, I am showing you the hair growing back on my head. And, you could go back a year on my show, and I bet you'll see that it was worse a year ago than it is now. Because I remember doing a joke on my live stream, and I was talking about how this is the battle line right here, and this is our front line. Once our front line warriors get to the battle line, all of our hope is lost. We have to take all the soldiers off the battlefield. But it looks like the soldiers have returned to the battlefield. I don't want to turn up the brightness because I'm having a hard time seeing the hairline. There we go. My Master Kung Fu, the swinging hair, Kung Fu of all, Master Kung Fu, best Kung Fu of all Kung Fu. My Master Kung Fu, best Kung Fu of all Kung Fu. I got Michael Bolton here right now. What was the Michael Bolton song?
Flat beef. Purse of hair.
Hair's blowing in the wind. I love it. There it is. Michael Bolton singing. When a man loves a woman, oh, my hair blows in the wind. Oh, my luscious curls are looking really nice.
We got your brain.
Yeah, when a man loves his own hair, he gets a fan and it watches it blow in the wind, and then it sings about it.
Yo, nay, just saw your thing about 911. I get the snow thing being stupid.
Dude, those guys aren't
That shit was
scientists. Look,
The video addresses
Joe.
the jet fuel.
use your own eyes, bro. I watched it happen on TV
Dominic Leo.
when it happened.
I'm sorry about
Go watch the footage, bro. This is what happened, okay? 2 airplanes crashed into 2 buildings, brought them both down. The energy and heat and flames from those brought down building number 7. It's obvious what happened. And if you just go watch the CNN coverage, bro. You can do that. You can watch the whole day on CNN. And just sit there fucking one day and grab yourself, whatever it is you like to do when you sit and you chill on shit. Like binge
Correct.
watch. And just like I did, turn on CNN and watch the whole day. I'll get you. You want me to get you the link to it? Watch it unfold.
Morning, Nate.
Then go back and
Sean
think about
AKA
all
Sandy
the
Orr.
silliness that would be
Good morning, Nate.
involved in making what these guys claim happened happen.
Okay.
Dude, Joe, I love you, bro. I fucking love you. You have no idea. I fucking love
Surrounded
you.
by Kiev.
I care so
The
much
jet
about
fuel
you.
started a fire that was hotter than the
You
fuel
have
itself.
no idea.
Joe,
Surrounded by Keith just did this.
I love you, buddy.
Surrounded
Sean
by
AKA
Keith just did
Trendy
this,
Orca.
guys. He said the jet fuel started
Joe
a fire
is awesome, Nate.
that was hotter than the fuel itself. Why? Because maybe there were plastics and electronics and other things inside the building that were catching on fire too. That could have added to the heat intensity, of course. Including all of the parts of the plane, which was burning along. When people do jet fuel tests, do they take part of a jetliner and put that in there, part of a computer casing and put that in there, paper and, humans and, all the things that were in that fire burning together to increase the heat? Or are they just doing jet fuel? Oh, jet fuel won't burn this metal. Is it just jet fuel? Are you just doing the jet fuel? Yeah. Surrounded by Keith just explained the whole
Technically,
thing.
jet fuel cannot melt.
Surrounded
fuel.
by
It can
Keith
soften
just
it, though,
explained the
weaken
whole
it.
thing for everybody easily.
Joe,
And I had done that earlier too.
In
I was like,
using
there's a
the
whole
whole
bunch of
day
other
to
shit
watch
inside
shit
that
about
building burning.
911.
It wasn't just jet fuel.
can I get a link to what you're talking about?
Yes. I'm going to get it for you right now, bro. Look, the whole day.
Surrounded by Kiev. Yo. Sean aka Trendy Orca. Seems entire reasonable that all that stuff would increase the heat. Very true, nay.
8 hours and 13 minutes I got you, bro. We can watch it. When a man loves a woman.
Excellent point, nay.
Look at the fire starting there. If they could have put that fire out right then and there, If there was a way to put that fire out, they could have saved all those people's lives, man. But we didn't have the technology installed inside those buildings to put a fire like that out.
And my cameraman is now shooting.
Won't give me a preview.
I am shaking like a leaf.
You know, I thought this was the CNN coverage, but there were the CNN coverage I saw. There was an anchor talking. It was
Sean, aka Trendy Oker.
I don't remember if it was Wolf Blitzer. It could have been the guy before Wolf Blitzer. God, I can't remember who it was. But this doesn't.
I didn't even know what the World Trade Center was when this happened. I was
Yeah.
too young to
Oh,
understand
wow, bro.
what happened that day,
Bro,
but I saw it.
we were in shock. I was a full-on, adult when this happened. So it was like, I'd been there. I'd seen them. I'd stood on the World Trade Center and taken I'd stood on top of the Empire State Building and took pictures of the World Trade Center. You know, it was devastating. That day was a devastating day.
Surrounded by Kiev. At Joe checkout Fahrenheit 911.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. CNN Center right now is just beginning to work on this story, obviously calling our sources and trying to figure out exactly what happened, but clearly something relatively devastating happening this morning there on the south end of the island of
Okay,
Manhattan.
let me pull that up in another browser
That is, once
window.
again, a picture of...
That's 3 minutes in. God damn it. So that's the initial. Man, look, you guys are missing this. I don't show this for some reason because I'm an idiot. So here's the beginning when you can actually see this thing hitting. And I'm gonna make it full screen.
Download Twitter or visit twitter.com and search at Nays Garden, at Nays Garden Show, at Truthian News for the full podcast experience. YouTube channel at Truthian News on Twitter.
Okay, let me do this.
Joe. At Surrounded by Kiev, I think I watched that, but I can't remember. I'll try to watch it today.
I can't remember what Fahrenheit
Surrounded by Kiev.
911 was. I can't remember.
Joe,
what that
right on.
was. Joe, I'm so glad you came to the show, bro. So this is, here, watch the initial explosion. Look at that. Look at that. When you see that, you realize how much energy and heat went inside that building. You know, because that's what just blew out. What blew up inside to start it all, you know? God. So that's important that you see that. Now we'll go to 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Here we go.
More information on this subject as it becomes available to you.
End of the island of Manhattan.
Yeah.
That is, once again,
Dominic
a
Leo.
picture of one of the towers.
Nay, you
of
just
the
nailed
World
it, Paul.
Trade
What do
Center.
people need to see?
We can see these pictures.
Sean,
It's
aka
obviously
Trendy
something devastating
Joe
has
is your
happened. And
loyal
again,
squire like
unconfirmed
Bill
report
Valentine and
that a
me.
plane has crashed into one of the towers there. We are efforting more information on this subject as it becomes available to you.
Right now, we've got Sean Murtaugh. He is a CNN producer on the telephone right now. Sean, what can you tell us about what you know?
This is Sean Murtaugh. I just was standing on the Vice President of Finance.
Sean,
Vice President of Finance for CNN.
Sean, we're on the air right now. What can you tell us about this situation?
Is that Soledad?
Yeah, Sean, you're on the air right now.
Bill Hemmer?
Go ahead. What can you tell us?
I just witnessed a plane that appeared to be cruising slightly lower than normal altitude over New York City, and it appears to have crashed into, I don't know which tower it is, but it hit directly in the middle of one of the World Trade Center towers.
Sean, what
Directly
kind of
in the
plane?
middle,
Was
he
it a
said.
small plane, a
It
jet?
was a jet.
So,
Looked like a two-engine.
so there you go. That just goes to show you right off the bat how eyewitness accounts vary. I mean, that was not accurate. That plane did not hit the middle of that building. It hit very close to the top of the building. So he said it hit directly in the middle of the World Trade Center. Imagine if you're at home watching CNN and your loved ones are right there in the middle of and you're thinking they're dead, you know? God. So that's inaccurate reporting right there, and he works for CNN.
Maybe a 737.
You're talking about a large passenger
A
commercial
large
jet.
passenger commercial jet.
And where were you when you saw this?
I'm on the
Wait. Started by Keith. I think I watched that, but I can't remember. Joe, right on. Nay, you just nailed it, bro. What do people need to see? Joe is your loyal squire like Billy Ballantyne and me. No, he's not. What are you even talking about, Sean? That doesn't even make sense,
Nick
what you just
Brown.
said. No, he's not.
Good morning,
Floor of 5 Penn Plaza.
Joe.
Did it appear that the plane was
Thank
having
you,
any
Sean.
difficulty flying?
Yes,
I'm
it
just
did.
not
It was
consistent
teetering
whatsoever.
back and
mental
forth,
illness gets in
wingtip
the
to
way.
wingtip.
Don't listen to Sean, dude. He's
And it looks
confusing.
like
He's
it is
confusing all of
crashed
us.
into probably 20 stories from the top of the World Trade Center,
You're not
maybe the 80th
consistent?
to 85th floor.
Brother, listen. I am here anytime you need me, Joe. I want you to know that. I broadcast 3 times a day. You can contact me on Twitter anytime you want, brother, anytime you want to talk or whatever. I'm always here, man.
There is smoke billowing out of the World Trade Center.
Sean, what happened next? Does it appear to you that the plane is still inside the World Trade
This
Center?
is about when I
From
started
my
watching
angle,
the
I'm
news.
viewing south.
This
towards
is
the
when I
Statue
started
of Liberty and
watching.
towards the World Trade
I
Center.
turned it on right now, and I'm looking at this building, and I'm like, why are they showing footage from the 90s when there was that bomb inside the World Trade Center? And then I was like, why is there smoke coming out of the top of the building? It was the weirdest. I went through the weirdest little thought process, and I started like trying to figure out
Here
what was
comes
going
the other
on,
plan full of fuels and other stuff.
you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I think this is happening right now. I think it's been attacked again. So understand, Joe, people my generation, we had already been through a bombing of this building once before. So, you know, it was very confusing and traumatic for a lot of us to be going through it
looks
all
like
over
it
again.
is embedded in the building. I can't see from my vantage point whether it has come out the other side.
Sean, what about on the
Surrounded by
ground? Or
Kiev.
any debris that is hit down there?
Well,
Can you
but
see
My
Yeah,
any?
vantage point is
before
too
this
far
ends.
from the World Trade Center to
All
make
right.
any determination of that.
Did you see any smoke, any flames coming out of the
Surrounded by
engines of that
Kiev.
plane?
No, I did not.
They
The
thought it was
plane
an
just
accident at first.
was coming in low, and the wingtips tilted back and forth, and then it flattened out. It looks like it's hit at a slight angle into the World Trade Center. I can see flames now coming out the side of the building.
You see
and
exactly
smoke
how the
continues
plane
to go
hit.
up.
You could see the wings.
Generally, is that a
It's like
traffic
almost like a
area in
cartoonish
New York for
representation.
It is not a
of the plane.
normal flight pattern. I'm a frequent traveler between Atlanta
You can
and New
literally
York for
see the
business, and
wingtip.
It's not a normal flight pattern to come directly over.
You can literally see the
Manhattan. Usually they
wingtip
come up
right here, guys. You can.
either
It's like a
over the
silhouette. You can
Hudson
see where the
River
wing hit the
heading
building right
north
there,
and pass alongside
and
beyond
right here.
Manhattan.
Look, you can see
Right
where
Or
the
if
wing
they're
hit.
taking off from LaGuardia, they usually
Is that
take off,
psychotic?
over
You
Shea
see the
Stadium
imprint
and-
of the
and
plane
then
on the building.
take a
I never noticed that before.
around the island of Manhattan. It's rare that you have a jet crossing directly over the island of Manhattan.
Just for our viewers who are just tuning in right now, you're looking at a live picture of the World Trade Center tower where, according to eyewitness Sean Murtaugh, he is a vice president of finance, an eyewitness to what he describes as a twin-engine plane or possibly a 737 passenger jet flying into the World Trade Center. It appears to be still embedded inside the building. Sean, are you in a position right now to hear whether any...
It appears to still be embedded inside the building. Okay, that's accurate.
Cannabis he's.
Kind of goes without saying.
And then the other plane
Sirens
comes
are
into
going,
the
any
other one.
ambulances, any sort of response to this yet?
Not from my vantage point. I'm probably a
Hey,
mile and a half,
Cannabis.
2 miles from the World Trade Center.
Hey, Cannabis Heels, don't give away the plot, bro.
It is a remarkable scene as we're seeing right now. Flames still coming out of the windows, black smoke billowing from what appears to be all sides. Obviously,
I need a bong hit.
windows
Dude, this
shattered
shit
and steel
disturbs
jutting
me and
out
upsets
from
me
structures.
And
so
Sean,
much.
once again, we're looking at these pictures,
I
and
see
you're
them
telling
in my
us.
office. I have them on all my TV.
And the
And-
only reason I'm doing this is for my friend Joe. I just want him to see what happened that day. I want him to live through it with me and just understand
Cannabis Hees.
that the
Well,
things
they're
that
sorry.
people try to say about what
Surrounded
happened
by
that day
Kiev.
were just not. It wasn't even a
Firemen were literally
possibility.
trying to get up there.
What happened is what you see. And if you want to know the truth, just watch this video with me and you'll know what happened that day. Because this is what happened.
You're telling us you believe the plane is still remains embedded.
I can't tell from my vantage
This is a
point.
hell of a rabbit
Sean,
hole
thank
you
you
do
so
not
much for
want to
your
go
eyewitness
down, bro.
account
Trust
there.
me.
Right now, we want to go to our affiliate NYW,
It consumes
reporting
people.
on this as we speak.
It consumes them.
Did you see what happened, sir? Did you see what happened? What happened?
Well, I was in the PATH train and there was a huge explosion sound. Everyone came out. A large section of the building is blown out around like the
She didn't know
80th
plane
floor.
hit.
Was it hit by something, or was it something
it was
inside?
It was inside. Because it looked out. Everything
She
was
said it
coming
was
out.
inside.
Everything.
All the windows were coming out. All the papers.
So-
were
was on the side.
Perfect.
I didn't see anything.
Was there any people hurt?
So this just goes to show you another
I remember this like
eyewitness
it was
account.
yesterday.
Someone didn't even
Sean,
see an
aka
airplane,
Trendy
man.
Walker.
You can literally
I
see
don't
the
subscribe
wing
to
tips. You can,
conspiracy
you
theories
can
of
see where the
9/4/11.
lines hit the building.
Surrounded by Kiev.
Exactly. This is
This
where
where
conspiracy
conspiracy
theories
I just
exactly
ran, and
surrounded by
everyone
Kiev.
just ran. I don't know.
Exactly,
if anyone was hurt, but I
Sean.
assume they were
Nick
because the
Brown,
windows
what's
were
up,
all blown
son?
out.
All right, thank you.
You remember it like it was yesterday, right? Imprinted like that plane, imprinted on our minds like that plane was imprinted on the side of the building.
There were people up there in that. There were people up there in that.
They don't believe the plane reversed out,
lost, again, our transmitter is
According to
on
her,
top
it
of the
did.
World Trade Center, so we
That
apparently
made my day, though.
have consequently lost contact with Dick Oliver. But we are on the phone with an eyewitness. Rosa, can you hear me?
Somebody takes
Is
over.
Rosa there?
Somebody takes over CNN.
Hello?
Rosa,
remember who the anchor
this
was.
is Jim Ryan here in the studio.
It wasn't Jim
what was your
Ryan.
last name,
I'm
please?
sure it was somebody else. They're going to bring
All right,
someone
again,
else on.
you're looking at pictures now.
Like their
We
main anchor.
understand from a CNN Vice President Sean Murtaugh, who was an eyewitness to this. We
Destiny
believe a
Love.
commercial jet has crashed into one of the
falling down
towers of the
Robert
World
Wood
Trade Center, and you can see the smoke billowing out there, flames billowing out there, and a commercial jet crashing into one of these towers. At this point, we do not have official injury updates to bring you. We are only
Dude, I
now
just got a
beginning to put
shiver down my
together the
spine.
pieces of
I
this
had to fight
horrible
not to
incident.
shake it
Just a
out.
few seconds ago, we were tuning in to one of our affiliates in New York,
I hate watching this. I need
WNYW.
a
Right now,
bomber
we want to
so
go
bad.
to an eyewitness on the telephone right now.
I'm going to go
Jane,
with Gorilla Glue,
what can you
man.
tell us about what you
I need
saw?
some.
I can tell you
Some
that I was
serious
watching
Gorilla
TV
Glue.
and there was this sonic boom and the TV went out and I thought maybe that the Concorde was back in service because I've heard about those sonic booms. And I got up to my window. I live in Battery Park City right next to the Twin Towers. And I looked up and the side of the World Trade Center exploded right when I looked up. And at that point, debris started falling. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Can you hear anything from your position right now? Ambulances, sirens?
Absolutely, positively. There are crowds of people downstairs in Battery Park
Dominic
City.
Liu.
Everybody's come out from the buildings. This is
It
the
was very
financial
shocking to
area
see
in
plans go right into
in
the buildings.
Manhattan, and there's a lot of fire engines. I can see them from my window.
We were
Can
so
you tell us, I don't know
gullible.
if
We
you
were
can tell
so.
which tower it is. That's
were
on
so
fire
confident
right now,
in our
or what kinds of
Americanism.
services that are inside that tower.
I can't tell what's inside. It's the northern tower.
We were so. We
versus
felt
the
so
southern tower, and it
secure
seems to be on all
and
sides of
confident
the
in this
building.
country.
From
And
what I can
at this
tell,
point, you
the
can
west
see
side,
the ignorance
south
of the
side,
news
and it looks
people
like smoke's
having
coming from
no
the east side as
idea
well.
that America
Did you
is
see any of the
literally
debris
under
currently on the
attack.
ground area?
We're literally at
Absolutely.
war right
And
now. These
it
people haven't figured that
continues
out
to
yet.
Kind of flutter down
Look at
like
all the
leaves,
time that goes
and,
by
it
before
says
they
there was
realize
just
the
tons of
country is
debris, and it
literally at
continues to
war.
fall out, and
You know,
it looks like these uppermost floors are definitely on fire.
hours and
Do you
hours.
see any actual people
another
in
plane
that
is
area that
crashing.
may have been
Wait,
hit
the
by any of this
country's under
debris,
attack.
or were not
They
able to
tried to
get
hit
out
the
of the way? Can you
Pentagon.
see any
They tried
crowds
to hit
that
the
may be
fucking
too close
Capitol
to
or
where they
White
should
House.
be? Anything like that?
No, I don't
You
think
know?
so, and it's not a highly trafficked area at the base of the World Trade Center, so that's one fortunate thing.
Jane, right now we're continuing to look at pictures of this devastating scene. According to Sean Murtaugh, Vice President of Finance, he witnessed what he described as a twin-engine plane, possibly a 737. He was almost absolutely sure that it was a large passenger jet that went into that plane. Jane, you're saying that you didn't see anything initially. You didn't see a plane actually approach the building.
I had no idea it was a plane. I just saw the entire top part of the World Trade Center explode. So I turned on the TV when I heard they said it was a plane. It was really strange.
Were you there living in New York during the World Trade Center bombing?
No, I wasn't.
Fortunately so. When you say a sonic boom, did you actually feel anything? Were things shaking in your apartment?
You know, yeah, you could feel it.
I'm gonna smoke like the side of that building. I'm sorry to make a joke about it. But you got to make light of this shit somehow to get through it, right? Cheers, guys. No longer regarding cannabis.
You know, you felt the vibrations on the windows.
You were saying it's not a high traffic area usually, but can you guesstimate how many people may be in an area like that at this hour of the morning?
It would be hard to say. There is a huge courtyard between the two World Trade Center buildings, and the only issue might have been tourists or business people out in this courtyard area, and they possibly would have been hit. But the people that are immediately around the base of the World Trade Center, I would say at any given time, you're talking about maybe 20 or 30 people at best.
We were talking with Sean Murtaugh earlier, and he said this is not normally an area where you would see some sort of aircraft, certainly, obviously, that low, but in that is not a high traffic area in terms of flights?
I don't know about flights. You know, I have a balcony down here in Battery Park City, and they have that needle sticking out of the top of the World Trade Center. And I've always wondered, you know, if anyone would kind of get too close to the building, you know, and accidentally veer into it.
Gene, tell us a little bit about that area and how emergency crews would be able to access that area. Would that be relatively difficult or easy to access for emergency people?
Yeah, we're just watching the actual day in real time as it unfolded. So my friend Joe can
really only
have a good understanding
the other sides of the building are surrounded by other
facts
buildings
of that
in the
day.
courtyard. And so it's just this West Side Highway, this one major street that runs up the west side of Manhattan that makes it accessible for the fire engines. And, you know, it's amazing to sit here and watch this building on fire, and you've got this tiny little fire engine that I'm watching.
That's all you see right now is the one fire engine?
Where the fire engines are, it's a little bit obscured by other buildings.
Right.
Gene, let me ask you, I know I'm asking you to be a bit of an expert on the World Trade Center, but there's a famous viewing deck for tourists on one of the towers. When you say that this is the North Tower, is this the one that services a lot of the tourists to get their view and get to the restaurant at the top?
As a matter of fact, it is. And as I'm sure you can see, there's a ton of smoke coming out right now. I'm just guessing the fire seems to be worse on, it looks like it's about 15 floors down from the top of the building.
Yeah, 15 floors down. That guy said it hit the middle of the building.
She said that she thought that this was on the 80th floor. We know that there's an open air deck 110 stories high, and the glass enclosed observatory is on the 107th floor. So there is the possibility that people may very well be trapped up there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Gene Yerman.
You're very welcome.
Eyewitness here to a loud sonic boom she described as she was sitting inside her apartment, and she looked up and saw the sign of the World Trade Center exploded into flames and black smoke. We are going to join another one of our New York affiliates, WABC, for their live coverage.
Plane overhead, and then all of a sudden I thought it sounded kind of loud, and then I looked up, and all of a sudden it smashed right dead into the center of the World Trade Center.
That's dope.
Big flash of flame.
Czech people are cool.
Fire coming out all the bricks. There's a huge hole right now. It almost looked like the plane probably went through. I'm not sure.
Winston, can you see? Are you on the north side there where the plane made contact?
Yes, I am.
Now, when you say a huge hole, one of our earlier witnesses, Libby Clark, said not much of the plane came down off the building.
You'll notice the headline: plane crashes into World Trade Center
tower. There's a lot of debris downstairs, Winston.
6
No,
o'clock in
because
the
it looked
morning?
Like it inverted. With the impact, everything went inside the building.
Inside.
The only thing that
Surrounded
came
by
out was a little bit of the outside awning.
Polish and check.
But I'd say the hold is. Let me just get a better look right now.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd say the hold takes about.
That's cool, Keith. Oh God! Oh God!
Looks like 6, 7 floors were taken out. And there's more explosions right now. Hold on, people are running.
They cut away.
Got an explosion inside.
I saw the plane coming in. Did you see that?
Right now. You got people running up the street.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll tell you what's going on.
Okay, just put Winston on pause there for just a moment.
Okay, the whole building just exploded some more. The whole top part.
Okay.
The building's still intact. People are running up the streets. Am I still connected?
Winston, this would support probably what Libby and you both said, that perhaps the fuselage was in the building that would cause a second explosion such as that.
Dude, we were watching the video. I just saw a second plane come in. Was that the second plane hitting the second tower?
We're getting
9:03?
word that perhaps.
Okay, hold on. The people here are, everybody's panicking.
All right, Winston, Winston, let me put Winston on hold for just a moment.
Sorry, it wasn't 6, it was 9 a.m. in the East Coast.
Right now.
Well, Winston, you know what? If you could give us a call back, I just don't want to panic here on the air. Let's just take some of our pictures from News Chopper 7. Now, one of our producers said perhaps a second plane was involved, and let's not even speculate to that point, but at least put it out there that perhaps that may have happened.
Came in, your cameraman
the second
was
explosion
watching it.
would certainly back the theory from a couple of eyewitnesses that the plane fuselage perhaps stayed in those upper buildings. Now, if you look at the second building, there are two. Both twin towers now are on fire. Now, this was not the case. Am I correct? A couple of moments ago. This is the second twin tower now on fire. And we're going to check on the second flight if perhaps that had happened. This all began at about 8:48 this morning.
Dude,
again,
I don't understand how they cut away. You could see the plane coming right at that building.
Type or 5 or 6 seater, but instead perhaps a passenger flight
Surrounded by Kiev.
ran into the north side of the World Trade Center. As you can see,
these guys were clueless as to what was going on.
It has spread much debris. Much more debris.
So,
than
Joe,
the first
you saw that second plane come
in a government building.
If there is,
I can rewind it. They'll show the whole thing.
Surrounded by
okay, he's not there, but
because I remember seeing the
do we have?
whole
I'll
thing
just talk
that
to my
day.
producer. Do we have an eyewitness that perhaps sees better than we do from these pictures?
Joe,
again, you can see that there is debris falling off.
Can you watch the video of the student who filmed video of the tower?
Okay, we actually have an eyewitness news reporter, Dr. Jay Adlersberg, who is downtown at the time, and he is on the phone with us live. Dr. Jay, what can you tell us?
Hello, Steve. I'm actually uptown at 86th and Riverside. I can see the World Trade Center from about half the building up to the top. And about 5 minutes ago, as I was watching the smoke, a small plane, it looked like a propeller plane, came in from the west and about 20 or 25d stories below the top of the center. It disappeared for a second and then exploded behind a water tower, so I couldn't tell whether it hit the building or not. But it was very visible that a plane had come in at a low altitude and appeared to crash into the World Trade Center.
Dr. J, we're going to take a look at videotape just moments ago of the second plane hitting the World Trade Center. That is spectacular pictures. I don't know.
That's when I saw it. That is when I saw it.
That too was a passenger plane. If perhaps
when they showed the second one, they showed that bitch come in, and you could see it hit the building. You know, and you're like,
would have put two planes into the World Trade Center.
We are under attack.
It looks like about 18 minutes of each other. You want to go to? We have another copy. There's the second plane. Another passenger plane.
They keep putting that stupid banner over it, man.
These pictures are frightening indeed. These are just minutes between each other. So naturally, you will guess and you will speculate and perhaps ask the question if some type of navigating equipment is awry that two commuter planes
instead of a lower third, it's like a lower
would
half.
Run into the World Trade Centers at the same time. Our director, you're speaking in my ear at this point.
That came out of
You are looking at live pictures right now of the World Trade Centers. Again, we now have 2 passenger planes within 18 minutes of each other smashing into the World Trade Centers. Dr. J, are you still with us on the phone?
I'm still with you, Steve.
Dr. J, this is just frightening pictures indeed, and I would assume, or you would naturally think that when
We've been listening to some of the coverage provided for us by our affiliate WABC out of New York City. Let's go now and check our other affiliate WNBC to get the latest. I'm sorry, WNYW here, live coverage here of this amazing picture we're getting from Lower Manhattan. 2 planes, one hitting each of the Twin Towers at the World Trade Center.
They come by and say, what happened, what happened?
To my
And you just got to say
couch,
something
bro.
hit the building, and then something hit both buildings.
Well, we saw clearly, we didn't see the first one, but we saw clearly that a plane deliberately crashed into one of the upper floors of the World Trade Center. That was the second plane. So 2 planes crashed into the upper floors of each of the World Trade Center towers. And I'm just, I understand now that Port Authority headquarters are in one of those buildings somewhere near that location.
Jim, I don't know whether we've confirmed that this was an aircraft, or to be more specific, some people said they thought they saw a missile. I don't know how people could differentiate, but we might keep open the possibility that this was a missile attack.
There you go. Shut the fuck up, shit.
I must say that
there you go, brother.
We have an eyewitness who said it was a large plane that crashed first. And then as we were watching the live picture here in the studio, we saw a plane crash into the other tower of the World Trade Center. And again, let's just to be sure, there it is. There it is. The plane went right through the other tower of the World Trade Center.
That is a very hard thing to do.
Why at that moment
These
were
are
they
incredible
blocking the view
pictures
of
that
their
we're
own
watching
cameras?
this morning. These, thanks to our affiliate WNYW in New York. You are looking at this picture. It is the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, both of them being damaged by impacts from planes. We saw one happen at about maybe 9 minutes before the top of the hour. And just moments ago,
now, if
so
they'd
maybe
done this
18
to the
minutes
snow,
after
they
the
would have
first
crashed
impact,
2
the second
airplanes into
tower
each
was
snow
impacted
pile,
by another, what
and let
appeared to
that
be
fuel
another
burn with a bunch
passenger
of fucking
plane.
plastic and
In
shit.
fact, we've got some tape replay of that. Do we have the tape available right now?
Oh, here it
Here's
comes.
the plane.
Oh,
Here's the tape.
fuck.
You see the plane coming in from
Look at that.
looks like
Look
the
at that. Look at
east
that.
side, and it blows into the building with the flames and the smoke billowing out the other side of the tower. It's hard for me to tell exactly which is the north side and which is the south side, but it appears it's coming out of the north side there. Incredible pictures. These happened just moments ago. And I believe we have someone with us on the line. Ira Fermer. We have Ira Fermer, the former NTSB spokesman. And you're watching these pictures as well with us, are you not?
Yeah, I'm with you on
I need another bong hit.
What can you make of what we have seen, and particularly with this replay we just saw moments ago?
So crazy to watch.
That's absolutely inexplicable. There shouldn't be any aircraft in that area, much less something heading what looked like deliberately for the World Trade Center tower.
You don't think there's any way this could be any kind of an accident, no kind of a navigational equipment failure, or some sort of a navigational quirk by beacons or whatever?
What a stupid question.
No, you've got incredibly good visibility at this point, and no pilot is going to be relying on navigational equipment in such a circumstance that would cause them to crash into the World Trade Center.
How far out of the way from an approach to either LaGuardia or Kennedy would a plane have to be to hit the World Trade Center?
There are approaches that come up along the Hudson River, which is to the west of the World Trade Center, and those aircraft usually wind up going into LaGuardia. So you can come within a mile or two of the World Trade Center, but it is such a visible object as you're approaching New York City that it's just not possible for a pilot during the daytime to have taken a course that would put it right into the World Trade Center. A second occurrence within a few minutes is beyond belief.
As you can see, there definitely is no weather problem, so weather would be definitely ruled out as a factor in this case.
Yes, the course is a normal course. I mean, for commercial pilots coming into New York, it certainly appeared from the video on CNN that the second aircraft was heading for the tower, and that it was a commercial-sized aircraft.
Could you have a better idea about what size that plane was? It was kind of hard for me to tell. You're an expert in these matters. Could you look at that tape and tell what size that plane was?
It would have to be slowed down, and you'd need more than one angle for it because you'd want to see how many engines on it, the shape of the tail.
Well, if it's possible, gang, could we go ahead and replay that tape right now?
Duh!
Do we have the tape ready?
Duh!
Of the second plane impacting. We're going to put that tape on in just a second. We're about to roll it now. If you can, sir, I don't want you to speculate, but if you can, give us an idea of what you think might be at play here. What kind of plane we're talking about, or at least what size. If we're talking about one that would hold, say, 100 people, one that would hold 300 people. From what you see, we can back the tape up further than that, guys. Here we go.
Pause it. No. Dumbass.
Very hard to get a perspective on it.
Fucking pause the goddamn videos, you idiots.
I don't know how far away we are at this, but that looks to me like it could be certainly a passenger jet and one of those aircraft that could hold 100 or more people. I caution you at this point to wonder whether or not that airplane was occupied by more than just a pilot or crew. We don't necessarily know that there were any passengers aboard that airplane.
Understood.
Darren Kagan joining the conversation here, sir, but there's no indication that there would be any air traffic on purpose in the area of the World Trade Center at this time of day, or any time of day for that matter.
Well, not directly into the World Trade Center.
Yeah, but even close to it.
Not directly into the World Trade Center. What is he fucking, hey, I just flew in this week. I'll be here all week, guys.
And when you're looking at the pictures that you
My arms are tired.
with all this smoke and fire and all that,
I just flew in. My arms, boy, my arms tired. Hey, I'm here all week.
That wouldn't ordinarily see the World Trade Center, wouldn't ordinarily be on course, would now not see this as a flaming beacon to avoid.
Let me ask you this about the airspace. Given that it appears that 2 different airplanes have flown into the World Trade Center in 18 minutes, is it possible to shut down that airspace and keep another plane from doing something just like it?
Go.
I don't think that this represents an accident, and so I don't think that we're talking about having to now keep other aircraft away. This picture that CNN is broadcasting live is probably from a range of a couple of miles away, and you can see that.
No, certainly that, but if there was somebody who intentionally was trying to do the same thing again, is there a way to shut down the airspace to keep planes out?
No, you can't shut down airspace. There's no gate, there's no fence in airspace. All you can do is broadcast that airspace is closed, but if someone is intent on breaking through it, that happens with our military airspace all the time off the coast.
I want to bring up a couple points right now, if I may. We have just been told that President Bush has been informed of this incredible tragedy happening in New York. He did have an event scheduled at 9:30 this morning, which we were going to cover here. He has just canceled that event. We expect he will probably have some comments fairly soon, and we will bring those to you live the moment that we understand he is available. But I'd like to ask you once again, Ira, if I can get back to asking you about this particular crash. Is it possible that those who are tracking planes either at LaGuardia through the radar, can they give us some more information about exactly what happened here? Were these planes, I guess, using beacons to come in, or if there's some sort of identification of these planes as they approach the New York area?
I wonder how many people were able to escape out of those towers.
If they were under air traffic control.
How many people
You've
survived?
got one eyewitness telling you that the first aircraft flew from Westchester.
I don't know if this 8-hour. There's the
Manhattan
plane right there.
And directly into the World Trade Center, presumably the North Tower. And now you're showing the other aircraft coming in. Looks to me like it would be from the west into the other tower. Those planes could be, should be, normally would be under air traffic control, but it is also entirely possible.
Bro, we got a clear view of that plane when it first came in. Remember? You can really see it. They're not showing that camera.
Without being under the control. And we use that word advisedly. All that means is information is what air traffic control is.
30 minutes.
And just operate and do whatever they want if they don't follow the rules of air traffic control.
I affirmatively thank you very, very much for your insight, and the longer we talk, the less convinced many will become that this was an accident. We thank you very much for your insight.
More information on that just ahead. Now we want to bring in Todd Harris. Todd, on the scene, saw what happened. Todd, are you with us?
Yes, I had a perfect view, and the plane was coming in. I noticed it a second before it hit the building. It looked like it was moving slowly, and it lined itself up to hit the building directly.
Are you talking about the first plane or the second plane? And Todd, tell us exactly where you are, where you had this great view.
I was on Highway 278, like a dead-on view of the side that it hit the building.
All right, Todd, hang on. We're going to continue our conversation. Leon has something to jump in here with.
Yes, I'm checking the wires even as we speak. The Associated Press is reporting right now that the FBI in Washington.
Think about that. That kid was driving down the road, and he said, I saw the pilot, and he intentionally veered to hit he's like, you could see, he lined himself up with the fucking tower. He could see him. Dude, imagine the horror that kid must have felt when he saw that, because he knew it was a jetliner, you know? Holy shit.
Investigating reports that these two plane crashes are the result of foul play. There is a report here by the Associated Press of a possible plane hijacking. They don't say two, but they say a possible plane hijacking. Let's go to Kelly Arena, who's on the phone right now from Washington. Kelly? Hello, Kelly. Kelly Arena, are you there? All right, Kelly Arena.
Okay,
there's Kelly. Kelly, what have you learned?
Okay, well, an FBI official has just told CNN that they are investigating, but they have not yet determined whether or not this was indeed a terrorist act. The official that I spoke to said that so far there has been no communication, no one claiming responsibility for either of those crashes. There is an investigation underway. If there is anything to be said officially, it will come out of the New York City field office of the FBI, which is right now involved in that investigation to find out whether or not it was. But I have to tell you, I repeat, right now the FBI has not determined whether or not this is a terrorist act, although they are investigating.
All right, thank you very much, Kelly Arena. We appreciate that.
Let's go. Yes,
Finally talking about the fact that it's
an
attack on America.
We don't have Todd.
Finally.
Okay, once again, if you're just joining us, the breaking story that we're following out of New York City, within the span of 18 minutes, two separate planes crashing into the World Trade Center. The rescue operations underway. Not clear. We're going to show you. This is the second plane after the first tower was already on fire. This happened just minutes ago. We'll let the pictures tell the story. You saw it live here on CNN as it happened. The plane crashed right into the side of the World Trade Center,
cut away and you guys are idiots.
Explosion. Now, as we speak, and we're showing you live pictures now, smoke and fire taking place in both towers of the World Trade Center.
And it appeared that second plane that we actually did have on videotape, on its approach toward that tower, actually turned. And I have to think, I'm not an expert in these things, so I don't know, but it would seem as though that move actually may have caused much more damage. These are incredible pictures, as you can see here.
Let's keep the pictures up as we go ahead and talk to more eyewitnesses. Joe Trachtenberg joining us on the phone. Joe, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us what your vantage point is
and
what you've seen so far?
Well, we got. I heard on the radio that one of the towers was on fire, and we went to High Point in our building, which is on the 25th floor, and you had a clear view of the both World Trade Centers, and the one tower was smoking hard. And there was another plane that was flying low, and we just looked at it, and before you know it, just kamikaze, boom, right into the other tower, and mass explosion, windows flying. It was horrible. Still distraught looking at it.
Were you close enough to see or get a general idea of what kind of plane that was that flew in the second time?
Well, I'm not an expert on planes, but it wasn't didn't seem like a big passenger jet. It was a smaller type plane because it made some pretty radical turn, and they were flying low, and you're not used to see big planes flying over Manhattan because I don't think you're allowed to, but it was pretty tough.
And explain to me again what your vantage point is, where you are in the city looking at this.
We're in Chelsea. It's like 25th Street and 7th Avenue, and it's clear looking all the way downtown, and you can see the buildings.
How's that?
The whole downtown, because it's a clear day, and it's
How's that, Destiny?
And once again, describe for us what you saw as that plane went to the second building.
That plane just flew straight into the second building on the downtown side of the pier.
It's time for some cherry pie.
Huge explosion. and smoke just immediately, the fire started immediately coming from the second tower as it hit. Glass flying everywhere.
All right, looks like there's a little bit of audio problem with that, so I'm going to say thanks to Joe Trachtenberg for talking to us and telling us what he saw. We were watching it right here, live on CNN, as that plane went in. He had a closer vantage point and could see, as you heard Leon, he was saying he doesn't think it was a big jet, but a smaller plane, close up where he could see it.
Well,
you see?
Have
more eyewitness, incorrect eyewitness account.
Another eyewitness. We're going to go to some tape that we're getting from.
Unbelievable how inaccurate eyewitnesses are.
Where they interviewed
some people didn't even see the plane; they just saw the explosion afterwards, and they said the explosion came from within. Oh, okay, yeah, it did. It sure did.
I didn't realize how the witnesses and reporters were so off.
And there's more explosions right now. Hold on, people are running. Listen, hold on just a moment. We've got an explosion inside.
That's
exploding
right now. You got people running up the street. When they cut away.
Okay,
look,
just
and you could see that plane coming in.
Just a moment.
So this is 36.
Okay.
It's got 35 in New York, where they interviewed an eyewitness who saw the second crash as it happened.
I said the whole takes about.
Look at the image they had available of that jet. Look at the image that's the one they cut away from. And we saw that. We all saw this. And we knew it was a jetliner. You could tell. That thing's big. Look at how big that jet is. It's behind the building. And look how big that motherfucker is next to that skyscraper.
Hearsay. That's why the courts don't allow it during trial.
You know that's a big plane coming in. When you look at it from this angle, it makes it obvious. You know, if we slowed this down as slow as they let you go.
You asterisk.
And you played this. 3554.
DC in New York.
Okay.
Where they interviewed an eyewitness.
About 10 seconds, probably.
Who saw the second crash.
Here we go. 3550. 3551. 3552. 3553. Get ready. Boom. Wait, there it is. Dude. And they cut away. It's so weird how they cut away right at that moment. But if you start this at 3555. Yeah, man, you could just watch that thing come in, and we saw that. We were all watching this together.
DC in New York, where they interviewed an eyewitness who saw the second crash as it happened.
I said the whole takes about.
Sean, aka Trendy Orker. They claim it's due to graphic content that cut away.
No, I don't know, but watch. They caught it. It's here. Here it comes. Real time. Boom. I mean, we all saw that, man, you know?
Listen, hold on just a moment. We got an explosion.
And the anchor had no idea what was going on, and we saw the plane come in.
Okay.
It was obvious what we saw.
Okay. Just
that's what we saw.
Put Winston on pause there for just a moment.
It was so crazy how out of touch the anchor was with what was going on. And there wasn't a producer in his ear going, dude, a second plane just hit the second tower.
Probably what Libby and you both said, that perhaps the fuselage was in the building that would cause a second
he's trying to ask a question.
Well, that's what just happened then.
That certainly... We're getting
They
word
were
that perhaps.
Okay, hold on. The people here are.
They were
panicking.
so confused.
Keep in mind that the first plane hit about 8:48 a.m., so there had to already be a number of people.
Billy, what's up,
inside
buddy?
the World Trade Center. We're going to go right now bring in Rose Arce, one of our producers here at CNN. She's with us on the phone and has with her a number of people who have escaped the building. Rose.
Yes, there's a huge crowd. I'd say hundreds of people on the streets that come from south to north. I've been really thousands of people that have been running from inside these buildings. You know, it's a very heavily trafficked area in downtown, the World Trade Center. Many of them were inside the building when they felt the explosion. And they say there was just pandemonium. There was no warning, no alarms, no anything. Everyone just raced from their desks, ran downstairs, and now there's a steady stream of folks running.
No, the intention was to get those planes up there nice and high where fire trucks couldn't put the fires out. They knew exactly where on those buildings they wanted to hit. And Osama bin Laden knew exactly what he was doing.
Where's Peggy? I wanted
Like
to dynamite was shaped like a flying plane.
Right, Billy?
Surrounded by Kiev. The Dow wasn't 145.
Dude, everybody. Billy says, where's Peggy? I want an explanation of how the demolition of dynamite was shaped like a flying plane.
It was down 145 that day.
Was it? Oh, look at you looking at the Dow at the bottom of the screen, dude. You're genius. Interesting, right?
Running away from the building. Some people saying that they're fearing there'll be another explosion, and when they saw the second plane, convinced that this was dangerous, there's just an absolute flood of folks escaping downtown Manhattan right now.
And Rose, do you have anybody with you that could talk about being inside the World Trade Center when this happened?
Right now, honestly, there are scores of people that are literally running by me. There's debris on the base of the building that has continued to fall. As you know, even as far as a block away from the building. And what's happened is that everyone seems to have figured out that there's ongoing danger, and there's just a stream of folks running as quickly as they can uptown away from the.
There it was. She knew there's ongoing danger. They got to get the fuck out of there.
There's still a number of people inside those buildings.
Well, right now what you see is there's trucks trying to get through, and people have actually jumped from the crowd and are trying to help direct traffic to try to get emergency vehicles there. So there's no traffic going in the other direction, but because of the flow of people, it looks like some emergency vehicles are actually having trouble getting to the scene.
And from where you're standing, is there any kind of command center, any place that people are being directed toward?
Right now, what there is there's a crush of emergency vehicles and rescue vehicles, but they don't seem to be quite organized in any direction. There's fire department vehicles on the one side where you see the smoke coming out of the building. On the other hand, you see groups of police officers trying to organize the crowd in a more orderly fashion. I think there seems to be some fear on their part that such a huge crowd of people might injure each other on the way out.
All right, Rose Arce on the ground there near the World Trade Center. We continue our coverage live with the live pictures as we go.
And we're just now getting word again from the Associated Press now saying that the crash of these two aircraft into the towers of the World Trade Center in New York appear to be an act of terrorism.
There you go.
A U.S. official.
There you go. God, it feels so.
Department of this
it's like
U.S.
you breathe now. They finally freaking figured it out, you know?
This official was actually carrying at this particular point, but they're saying that a U.S. official is now saying to the Associated Press, and his official, well, he is saying at least that these two aircraft crashes we've seen into each of the towers of the World Trade Center are the act of terrorism. We're just getting word now that President Bush is going to be coming out, and he's going to have comments momentarily. We understand. We're keeping an eye on the picture from Sarasota. He's going to be returning to Washington almost immediately, we understand. Darren?
And in fact, as you mentioned, President Bush is in Florida today. We're supposed to have an education event just minutes from now. That has been canceled. Our Major Garrett is traveling with the president. Major, maybe you can tell us a little bit more on the president's immediate plans.
Josh G.
Good morning, Darren. President
Bush,
I
wish I had more than 145 characters sometimes, but no one wants a book of text cheers everyone in loading up for the next burn.
Catastrophe at the Twin Towers
Surrounded by
in New
Kiev.
York. Following that
Bush was still.
Hey, it's 7:10. No longer going to cannabis. Cheers, Josh
We are
G.
told by White House officials
Surrounded by Kiev.
Cheers, everybody.
Sarasota that he
What
will be
a
notified either shortly before 9 a.m. or
Vinny
just shortly
Valentine.
after. We don't have an exact
I was
moment
just
of
watching the
notification
tsunami
of the president.
footage.
We believe his chief of
People
staff,
acted
Andrew
the same.
Card, told him
Even
of the,
after the first wave,
event
they were
in
swimming and brushing
New York
it off.
City. The president has been
Surrounded by
monitoring them
Kiev.
as best as he can.
Cheers.
He was at one moment this morning sitting reading a book to some of the elementary school children here as scheduled.
He had no idea what was
Asked him
coming.
if he was aware of the situation in New York. He nodded a bit gravely and said he would have something to say about that shortly. We are expecting that statement any moment now. I can tell you here in Sarasota, with those traveling with the president, they are trying to sift through all of the
Surrounded by
amazing
Kiev.
and terrifying both
That
pictures and
tsunami,
details
that was the
they can,
deadliest thing ever.
get them from New York City, but no confirmation here from White House officials about what this in fact is, whether
Do you
it's
think it's a good idea for the press to be announcing the
Surrounded
location
by
of the
Kiev.
president during an act of war?
250K people dead in 1 day riot.
Oh, here in Sarasota with the president. We're under attack. Terrorist attack on the United States. Here we are with the president in Sarasota. Oh, that's fine, right here with the president.
The president has a way of letting reporters know that it's either an appropriate time or an inappropriate time to take questions. He does that in many different environments, many different situations. Clearly this morning with a crowd of children, he wanted to keep an even keel, keep the situation under control as best as possible. He just nodded and said, we'll talk about this later.
So once again, we do expect to hear from the president soon, a time frame on that.
Within the next 10 minutes or so. Again, things are very
Bush
much
was reading a children's book.
confused. The event here, which was scheduled to talk about education reform, talk about the importance of reading, that has been scrubbed.
He didn't do anything when they told him what happened.
Gather whatever information, all the information he can from various White House sources, make a statement, and then get aboard Air Force One, get back to Washington just as soon as he can.
Major Garrett traveling with the president in
Surrounded by
Sarasota, Florida.
Kiev.
Major, thank you very much. And of course,
He
as soon as the
continued
president
reading.
begins to
he
speak, you'll see
continued
those
reading.
comments live here on CNN. Leon.
I want to just inform you that we just got word from Reuters news service. Trading on the markets in New York have been postponed indefinitely. And we will try to keep an eye on that, but can't expect that to happen, get underway anytime soon.
Trading's been
just heard
postponed
Major
on
Garrett
the
mentioned
market.
moments ago this investigation. We're just now getting reports here at the Associated Press saying
They
that
shut
U.S.
down the
officials are
fucking
saying this
trading,
is an act of terrorism. Let's go now to our David
That
Ensor, who's on the
145.
phone right now,
I guess
and give
that
us some more
locks the
information on
market,
what may be at stake there. David.
Well, Leon, I can just tell you that
Wish they could have
U.S.
done that when
officials are also
Bitcoin was at
telling me
65,000.
that this is clearly not an accident in their view, and they do believe that terrorism is at the root of this. They believe this is a terrorist act. However,
Nays
they have
Garden.
very little other information.
Download
Obviously,
Twitter or
law
visit
enforcement
twitter.com
agencies will
and
be
search at
taking the
Nays
lead on
Garden.
this,
At Nays
trying to
Garden
find
Show.
out
At
who these, who was flying the planes, whether they had in fact been turned away from their regular flights, and so on. So very little information.
David,
Officials
we're
here
going
scrambling
to
to
cut
gather
you off. President Bush is speaking.
America. I unfortunately will be going back to Washington after my remarks. Secretary Rod Pace and Lieutenant Governor will take the podium and discuss education. I do want to thank the folks here at the Booker Elementary School for their hospitality. Today we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. Terrorism against our nation will not stand. And now, if you join me in a moment of silence. May God bless the victims, their families, and America. Thank you very much.
National President Bush there speaking in Sarasota, Florida, cutting short his stop there, saying that an apparent terrorist attack has occurred on U.S. soil. They're mentioning the 2 planes that have crashed into the World Trade Center this morning. Says a full-scale investigation is underway to hunt down those responsible for this, saying terrorism will not stand.
And Leon, on the heels of the president's remarks, CNN has learned that at least one of the planes involved in this hit on the World Trade Center was an American Airlines 767, a Boeing aircraft that took off from Boston. What happened to that airplane as it took off from Boston and how it ended up at the World Trade Center are details.
Now they know how many people were on it.
Let's go ahead and bring in our David Ensor. David, you were saying before we interrupted you for the president's remarks.
Well, unfortunately, the amount of detail that the officials are tracking this have is pretty sketchy at this point. But I was just saying that officials are calling this an act of terrorism. They're saying that's clearly what it is, clearly not an accident.
and law enforcement agencies, the FBI and others, will be taking the lead on this, officials say. And clearly, obviously, they will first try to ascertain who did this. What nationality are they? What's behind this? That's really all I can say. There are several places around the government. There are groups of officials gathering and setting up crisis centers to try and deal with the flow of information on this, which, as you can imagine, is going to be considerable as the day progresses.
And so far, as we know, no one has been taking responsibility for this.
There have been no claims of responsibility, and U.S. intelligence officials say they had no warning of anything like this coming along.
All right, David Ernst,
Surrounded by
thank you for joining
Kiev.
us on the phone. Once again, you can
Where
see that
there is
information
smoke,
at the
there is
bottom of your
fire.
screen.
Is
Two
that
different
true?
planes have flown into the World
Josh
Trade Center
G.
within the last hour.
You've
One
got to
plane
put a
was an
label and
American
team behind them
Airlines
so we
Boeing
can fuck their country up.
767 from Boston, in terms of how many people were on board that plane, and if it was forcibly taken from Boston into New York, we still have yet to learn.
We're joined now on the telephone by the former Federal Emergency Management Agency Director, James Lee Witt. Director Witt, you're watching these pictures with us this morning.
Dominic Leo.
Well, it's just
We got
horrible.
caught with our pants down.
Exactly, Dominic. Exactly.
I did see the one plane flying into the building. It's just unbelievable.
They found a way.
But, we've been, for several years now, we've been working on terrorist type events. And, and this is apparently one of those events do not know yet, but apparently it could be. And right now, I know I really feel for those families. But Richie and the New York Emergency Management,
Vinnie
New York,
Valentine.
and
I wish it was the Scottish that did it.
And the FBI
Falafel is way
but
better
this
than
is one of
haggis.
those Crisis
Fuck
management,
haggis.
as well as consequence management situation that they're going to have to be dealing with.
The first thing that calls to mind to many of us who have been here to cover these events was the World Trade Center bombing back was in '96 when that bombing occurred.
Yes.
And you were director of FEMA at that particular time. Since then, has there been a plan put in place for something like
Cannabis
this, or
use.
to recover from this, or to actually
people that
to
lived
go
in
through the
caves and
exercises
rode
necessary
donkeys
to get
found a
people
way.
out and to recover from it?
Well, they have a very good plan in place, and for even events, not as this. I don't think I don't know if they put a plan in place for airline crashing into it, but I know they take every scenario they could think of and try to deal with a plan that will help them respond in the most effective way. And we even practice airplanes flying into igloos, and at some of the arsenals around the United States. So you try to practice for everything you can think of and hope for the best, and that you can be able to respond and hope none of this happens. But
On that note, then, did you run any kinds of tests at all, or any kinds of, theoretical tests or computer tests or anything on something like this?
We didn't. I'm not sure if New York City did. I'm sure they did. But you can't. How can you stop something like this without having an anti-aircraft gun sitting on top of buildings?
Yeah.
You just can't. You can prepare the best you can be, and that's all you can do. But I'm sure that they've got
Vinnie
everything in
Valentine.
place and doing.
Be back.
They always do an
Got
excellent
to get
job
dressed
there.
and brush.
Director Witt,
All right,
Director
Billy.
James Lee Witt, former director of FEMA. We thank you very much for your time this morning. We'll be talking with you later on.
As we continue our coverage, our Aaron Brown in New York City joining us now. Aaron, we can see over your left shoulder there the building still smoldering of the World Trade Center.
Well, it is.
There he
a grotesque
is,
sight
Aaron
to look
Brown.
at from about 30 blocks away from where we are. For those of you just joining us, let's just briefly recap what we know.
Surrounded by
About
Kiev.
an hour ago.
This is what happens when we arm
8:45
terrorists
Eastern
to fight
time,
our enemies.
One plane crashed
It's
into
called Mission Blowback.
the tower, the World Trade Center tower on the right, the first of those towers that you can see behind me. And then about a half hour later, a second plane crashed into the tower number 2. That's the one to the left, where the darker smoke is billowing out right now. We have reports, CNN has been told that one
Big
of the
Mark
planes was an
83.
American Airlines
Good morning.
767 that had been
Hey,
hijacked
Big Mark.
from Boston. We don't know if that was the first or the second plane that hit the tower, but we do know that it was a 767 American Airlines jet. At least that's what CNN has been told by sources so far this morning. We also have reports of of 1,000 injuries that is
Surrounded by
unconfirmed.
Kiev.
And we always remind you in
Morning
moments like
83.
these that as these initial reports come in, it is very early. I can tell you, driving in, it is extraordinarily chaotic on the west side of New York. It is the kind of situation where numbers change, where situations change. But this is the information we have now, that there are at least
Soren,
1,000 injuries, and we're working
did they
on
have
that.
any
As you
footage
can
of the
see,
people who hijacked the
smoke
planes at the
billowing
airport?
out of the Trade Center. We in Sarasota, Florida now. Major Garrett joins us. Major, what are you being told?
Hello. President Bush has notified and talked rather to Vice President Cheney. He has talked to the FBI Director Robert Mueller, and he has also spoken with the Governor of New York, Governor Pataki, about this catastrophe. The President will convene a national security meeting upon his arrival back at Washington. Those are the 4 pieces of information
Surrounded by
gathered
Kiev.
here the moment since I just spoke
Bunch
to you
of
on the
people were
telephone.
still there on the
President,
ground,
as we just saw a
walking.
few moments ago, identifying this as an apparent act of terrorism against the United
Cannabis
States, and there will
heaps.
be a full investigation.
Yes, they
The
did later
entire
when it was shown.
apparatus of the United States government,
Surrounded by
FBI,
Kiev.
National Security, CIA.
I would have gotten
Vice
as far
President,
as
who
possible.
You may remember was
New
placed in
Jersey
charge
even
of the
low.
domestic terrorism study group within the White House to monitor and develop plans to deal with a catastrophe of just this kind. All those parts of the government have been mobilized. The president is heading back to Washington very soon. Here's what the president said about this catastrophe of the Twin Towers in New York just a few moments ago here at Sarasota Elementary School.
Major, it's Aaron.
Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
Do you want me to
I have
fast
spoken
forward?
to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI.
Situation in New York by National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice. Then the second notification updating him with more details on the situation came from his Chief of Staff, Andrew Card, who's traveling with the President here in Sarasota. The day was supposed to talk about education reform, but the President
Look at how much smoke is coming out, guys.
marshaling all the resources of the federal
Imagine
government,
what's
talking to
burning
his aides
inside that
as
building.
he can, and preparing to fly back to Washington to, again, as we said, convene a National Security Council.
Look at
meeting.
that smoke.
Back to you.
Major,
And imagine
before you
the
get away,
energy
and I
that's
apologize
being,
if you-
built up
if I'm
inside
asking you
there.
to repeat
Mamie and my
something, I'm
wife
having a
went to
little
visit
trouble
my
Contained
brother in
inside
Maine.
the
We
building.
We know
told
exactly where the president was.
Surrounded by
You know,
Kiev.
like a big cigarette.
We attacked the wrong
Yeah.
country.
Just
15 out of
arriving here in
19 of those
Sarasota
terrorists
at
were
Emma
from
E.
Saudi
Booker
Arabia.
Elementary
Think of that like the
School.
end of a
He
cigarette
had taken an
burning.
early morning jog
The
this morning in
ash,
Sarasota, had just
and
arrived
just
here with a
someone
presidential
puffing on it,
motorcade.
and it's just
Then the
all
spectacular,
heat
horrific
inside,
pictures began
and it just
appearing on
turns to
television
ash.
sets here at the elementary school. The president received a telephone call from Condoleezza Rice, National Security Advisor. Then he received an update from
Look
his
at
chief
that
of staff,
smoke,
Andrew
guys.
Card, traveling with him. Then it was made clear to the press traveling with the president he would make a statement. Shortly before that statement, he was actually sitting down with some children here at the elementary school, reading them a book. Reporters
We should have
asked him if
drones
he knew
now
about the
that can
situation
pick
with the Twin
people up,
Towers. He
you know?
nodded and said
And
he
they
would
just
talk
walk
about it
out
momentarily.
onto
In fact, he did. We just heard the
drones,
president's
just fucking
statement
bring out
declaring
on the
this an
deck,
apparent act of
you know, with
terrorism.
rails on it and
Let
everything,
me
just
interrupt
fucking
you here.
walk off
Senator
the goddamn
Ted
building
Kennedy
and walk onto a
is,
drone.
Senator Kennedy is speaking in Washington
They
as
should
again
have
one of
that
the planes
shit
was
now.
hijacked from Boston. Perhaps we can hear the senator now.
For buildings like this is fucking crazy. These people didn't have a way to get out of there.
This morning.
You know, even
We
parachutes would have been
underline the
cool.
point that it is postponed. We are not going to see the business of America deferred because of terrorism, whether it's in education or in other area of public policy. We're looking forward to hearing from the First Lady on a subject matter which is of central concern to all families in this country. And because of her experience,
I wonder how
and
many
her
people in
leadership,
high buildings have parachutes
this
now.
committee and the Congress
Surrounded by Kiev.
Because of that.
benefited greatly.
I think
from
Saudi
her
Arabia
comments.
had to pay big bucks
And
to the
we
victims'
will look
families.
forward to an early.
Senator Ted Kennedy in Washington. Chris Plant, a CNN producer, is at the Pentagon where there is a significant fire. Chris, you're on the phone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Tell me what you know.
Well, arriving at the Pentagon a short time ago, there was a huge plume of smoke which continues to rise from the west side of the Pentagon over in the area where there is a helicopter landing zone. It's along Route 27 if you're looking at maps of the area. The building is currently being evacuated, and police and emergency units are, of course, responding from all around the building and from the local Arlington County Fire Department. The plume of smoke is enormous. It's a couple of 100 yards across. At its base, it is billowing into the sky, hundreds of yards. It's impossible for me to say from this side of the building whether the building itself is on fire or up in flames, or exactly what caused this. I did not hear an explosion, but there is certainly a very, very significant fire in this enormous office building on the west front. The building is being evacuated. The
Cannabis
Defense
Hees.
Protective Service
Third
officers,
plane.
the police force for the Pentagon, are on a very tight string right now. As I arrived,
Okay,
I was held at gunpoint.
Chris,
Yes.
let me interrupt you for a
I was
second.
at
Just hang
gunpoint.
on, don't go anywhere. We're getting reports now that the White House is being evacuated as well. We don't know precisely what has caused that decision to be made. Whether that is precautionary, whether something has happened at the White House. Again, the president is in Florida this morning, so the president is not in any danger, but the White House, of course, is fully operational, whether the president is there or not. And we have reports that the White House is being evacuated. Getting back to Chris in a moment, we also have reports now from Chris Plant on the scene that the Pentagon is being evacuated as well. All of this coming on the heels of a large fire at the Pentagon, and we can't tell you at this moment whether that fire is inside the Pentagon building itself or on the ground to the Pentagon. And these two planes that you can see behind us that hit the World Trade Center,
Cannabis Hees.
that's Washington, the old executive office.
We don't
building,
know
I
why this is
believe,
happening,
and you
Common
can see
News
the
Guy.
plume of smoke behind it, which we will assume until we're told otherwise that that's the fire at the Pentagon. I believe that's correct. As you look now at Washington. So we've got a major fire at the Pentagon, and the Pentagon being evacuated, the White House being evacuated, and we don't know precisely the circumstances there, what caused that decision. And we have these two enormous explosions at the World Trade Center here in New York, where two planes slammed into the buildings. We are also getting reports now that there is a fire on the mall in Washington, that part of the Capitol that runs essentially from the Capitol to the White House in kind of a straight line going up Washington, D.C., and we have reports of a fire there. What you're looking at now is Washington, at least if I can see the monitor in front of me. It's a little tricky from where we are. That looks to me like the old executive office building, and then in back of it you see the large plume of smoke. Here in New York, sirens everywhere, people out on the streets staring at this grotesque scene of the World Trade Center buildings. It was in February of '93, if memory serves me correctly, that there was an attack, a terrorist attack on the World Trade Center. Bomb exploded in the garage of the Trade Center on that day in February of '93. Here we are in the year 2001, and what appears to be deliberate attacks on the World Trade Center. And then we have these two reports out of Washington, the fire at the Pentagon. Chris Plant is still on the phone, I do believe. And we'll get to him in a second. Greta Van Susteren is at National Airport in Washington. Greta, what are you hearing?
I just got off my plane. I was headed to New York. Planes were stalled. I'm at National Airport on the parking lot. I heard a huge noise. I looked over in the direction of the Pentagon. There's a huge plume of smoke coming from that area. I can't verify it's the Pentagon because there are these buildings in the way. You see particles coming down in the air, some sort of white particles. I can't tell what that is. I'd heard a noise slightly before I'd seen the smoke. I don't know if it's an airplane, if it's a bomb, but it was certainly something. And obviously there's a terrific fire going on. The skies are clear here except for the tremendous amount of smoke that's coming from there. Lots of sirens from all different directions, and of course a lot of uncertainty here at National Airport.
Greta, thank you. I want to just again recap as we pick up small pieces of information along the way. Associated Press is reporting that it was a plane that crashed at the Pentagon, and the Pentagon is being evacuated. There is a large fire there, and that is the smoke you see in the shot that you're looking at now. Whether that fire is in the building itself or outside, we have not yet confirmed. There is a fire on the mall in Washington. the cause of the fire on the mall in Washington, we cannot yet tell you. We can tell you that the White House has been evacuated, and we can tell you that 2 planes have crashed into the World Trade Center in New York. All of this began just a little more than an hour ago at about 8:45 Eastern Time. Chris Plant, tell me what you've learned since we last talked.
Well, in speaking to people here at the Pentagon as they're being evacuated from the building, I am told by several people that there was, in fact, an explosion. I was told by one witness, an Air Force senior enlisted man, that he was outside when it occurred. He said that he saw a helicopter circle the building. He said that it appeared to be a U.S. military helicopter and that it disappeared behind the building where the helicopter landing zone is. Excuse me. And that he then saw a fireball go into the sky. I'm attempting to make my way around to that side of the building in my car right now to see if I can get a better visual perspective on the scene on that side of the building. But I can tell you that
surrounded by Kiev,
certainly clamped down the.
There is video of a helicopter.
Another federal law enforcement department has arrived in force on the scene. There's a Park Police helicopter overhead. Every car that arrives at the gate where I was located was being stopped by officers at gunpoint. Everyone is being forced out of their vehicles as they arrive at the Pentagon. It's a very tense situation, obviously, but initial reports from witnesses indicate that there was, in fact, a helicopter circling the building, contrary to what the AP reported, according to the witnesses I've spoken to anyway, and that this helicopter disappeared behind the building and that there was then an explosion. That's about all I have from here.
Okay, let's do this. Why don't you continue reporting, and we'll pass along a couple of other things that we're picking up along the way. Trading at the New York Stock Exchange.
Surrounded by Kiev.
Many of you probably know.
They were obviously trying to access
in
the
that
situation.
Part of Lower Manhattan, not quite as far down as the Trade Center, but it is in that part of Lower Manhattan, and trading has been suspended there.
Could have been anything. It's
surrounded by
bridges and tunnels coming into
that's
New
a
York
conspiracy
have been
theory.
closed.
Copter dropped a bomb atop the building.
A whole different set of problems. We are also being told that the FAA has suspended takeoffs and landings, and I want to make sure I get this right, guys, that in all at all airports around the country, air travel in this country has come to a halt this morning, as clearly people in government, police forces, fire departments are trying to figure out what exactly is going on.
We took a plan to visit my brother in Maine.
Now, incidents.
We came back before Labor Day.
That look for.
I'm sorry, but I get sick because I just got home from Maine.
Major terrorist attack
we are
in
lucky.
the United States. So all airports all across the country are closed. All bridges and tunnels coming into Manhattan are closed. The Pentagon has been evacuated or is being evacuated. The White House is being evacuated. The president, who is in Sarasota today
like
to make a speech on education, has spoken briefly to cameras and will shortly make his way back to Washington. They are checking
surrounded by
out
Kiev.
Air Force One.
They mentioned
now.
a fire near White House. What was that about?
Let's go to Atlanta. Chad Myers can talk to us a bit about the air traffic problems. Chad, are you there?
Aaron, yes. All of the airports across the country have been shut down. We started with Zone New York, which includes Islip, Newark, JFK, LaGuardia, all the way down to Philadelphia, and then IAH, Houston, and then San Francisco, and then LA. They were just falling like a deck of cards, and then all of a sudden the FAA just said, we're shutting down everything. All flights have been canceled for another 7 hours, which is about 5 o'clock Eastern time, and then
surrounded by Kiev.
Reignite there. We'll take a look what's going
that
on
night
after
was
that.
creepy.
The probability
no planes.
of extension, as they call
Only
that,
UFOs.
is high, which means even after 5 o'clock, the airports may still be shut down. We'll keep watching it for you here from Atlanta.
Chad, if you don't know to say you don't know.
How many dry runs?
A situation where every airport in the country had been shut down.
Absolutely not, except in wartime, of course, Aaron, and obviously this is not that. But with all the airports that as they were going down from west to east, we could see them, and we could eventually see from New York, and then they canceled Boston as we got the report that the first flight or one of the possible hijack flights did come out of Boston, and then it just started going down from there. But never, ever before have we ever seen all of the airports shut down like this, not this quickly.
Chad, thank you. Stay on this for a while. We'll get back to you. We know that many people are just joining us. We want to get everyone on the same page before we move on. So one more time, let's go through the sequence of events. At about 8:45 Eastern Time, a plane crashed into the foremost of those towers that are the World Trade Center. That's Air Force One you see in Florida, the president on board. Obviously, extraordinary security around the plane before the president got on, and the president is heading back to Washington. A short time ago, the president made a statement. He said, terrorism against our nation will not stand. The government will hunt down those responsible.
Look at the
Mr.
smoke
Bush said
coming
today
out of those
we had a
buildings.
national tragedy. 2 planes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on the country.
Holy shit, bro.
And we also have a report now that it was a plane that crashed into the Pentagon, and we have a large fire at the Pentagon. The Pentagon is being evacuated as we speak now. The White House has been evacuated as well. CNN's John King joins us on the phone. John.
Aaron, I'm standing in Lafayette Park directly across from the White House, perhaps about 200 yards from the White House residence itself. The Secret Service has pushed most people all the way back to the other side of the park, trying to avoid having that done to me at the moment. Just moments ago, they started slowly evacuating the White House about 30 minutes ago, and then in the last 5 minutes, people have come running out of the White House and the old executive office building, which is the office building right directly across from the White House. About 10 minutes ago, there was a white jet circling overhead. Now, you generally don't see planes in the area over the White House.
Maze Garden.
Restricted airspace. No reason
Download
to believe
Twitter or visit
that this jet was
twitter.com
there
and
for
search
any
at Maze
nefarious
Garden,
purposes, but
at
the
Maze
Secret
Garden
Service is
Show,
very
at
concerned.
Truthian News
Up
for the
at
full
jet in the
podcast
sky.
experience.
It is out of sight now.
YouTube
but
channel
you can tell that they've evacuated the entire White House staff and the old executive office, as well as some townhouses that are government offices. Many of our viewers might know Blair House, where other international leaders stay when they are in Washington. That block of townhouses has been evacuated as well, and they are pushing us now back toward H Street, which is the next main street to the north from Pennsylvania Avenue across from the White House.
Okay, John, hang on one
That's
second. We're also
John
getting
King,
reports at
guys.
the Capitol, the Treasury
guy
building
that does
also
the big
being evacuated.
magic wall.
John, is this evacuation
Married to
from the
Dana
White House,
Bash.
was it orderly? Did it seem panicky? How would you characterize it?
It started off as orderly, much like we get when there are occasional bomb scares near the White House.
Magic
But then,
wall, John King.
Again, in the last 10 minutes or so, the
From
people
all
who
the
came out, the
elections.
last several hundred I saw leaving the
Handyman.
ground
I like to
were
call
told
him
and ordered
handyman.
by the Secret Service to
He
run.
always
They were
talks with
running
his
through the
hands.
gates. These are, of course, professionals in business suits. I'm also told that prior to that, and we don't know the current situation, that the vice president and other administration officials on the scene were meeting in the White House Situation Room, which is in the basement of the White House. Whether they have stayed on the complex or not is unknown to us at this moment. I spoke to an administration official shortly after the president delivered his statement, who said obviously the operating assumption here is terrorism. The initial assumption, this official said, was that this had something to do, or at least they were looking into any possible connections with Osama bin Laden. The administration recently
The camera's
released a warning that they
horizon
thought
line
Osama bin
is
Laden might
crooked.
strike out against U.S.
That's how bad the
Just to
fucking
add, John, a
photographer
bit to
is.
what you've been
for
saying, we're
CNN.
getting a report from Associated Press now that the White House was evacuated after the Secret Service received what AP is describing as a credible, a credible threat of a terrorist attack against the White House itself. And I expect you'll be checking that out. We'll try and confirm that, but that's what AP is reporting right now. Again, this all began about an hour and 15 minutes ago here in Lower Manhattan when the first of 2 planes crashed in to the first.
And we've
of
been
the 2
watching the
towers
whole
behind me
thing
at
from the
World
very
Trade
start.
Center, and you can see the smoke
So you
billowing
can
out
see
of the front tower now.
what
And then
really
about
brought
half
these
an hour
down.
later,
You have to sit
just
and watch
as,
it like I did.
Emergency crews were
And then you'll
converging on the
realize,
scene
yeah,
as,
we saw the
eyewitnesses
plane
were
hit.
gathering on the street corners. A second plane drove into, and you can
Josh
see
G.
that plane coming around.
Crazy how far we
the
have come with
building
video resolution
right now
since then.
in this tape, and there you can see the hit as it comes through what looked to me, at least, and this is the first time I've seen that tape, come through the back side of the tower. I guess that would be the south side of the tower, and then the smoke and flame coming out the front side. Again, that was about a half hour after the first attack, which was at about 8:45. Look, you want to be careful here. We don't want to get too far ahead of this, but obviously this has all the appearances of an extraordinarily well-coordinated and devastating terrorist attack here in the United States. Certainly nothing like it since Oklahoma City, and nothing like it here in New York since the terrorist attack on the same World Trade Center buildings in February of 1993. At the Pentagon, a plane or a helicopter has crashed, apparently as part of whatever this operation has been, and Jamie McIntyre is there. Jamie, what are you hearing?
Fried Drive.
Well,
I'm back.
Welcome back,
there's
Billy.
a lot of confusion here at the Pentagon. It appears that something
We're doing real
hit
time
the
911.
Pentagon on the outside of the 5th corridor, on the
Just
Army
to
corridor.
kinda
Several Army officers
show
I
my
talked
buddy
to
Joe
reported hearing a big explosion.
what
seeing
brought the
shards of
towers
metal,
down. It's pretty
coming
basic.
past their window. The Pentagon has been evacuated. Emergency services personnel were rushing to reports of several people trapped in the building. Most of the building's 24,000 people are outside of the
Fried
building
Drive.
or in the center
Or a
courtyard,
helicopter.
as the
How
emergency
detached were
teams
those
try to sort
fuckers?
out what has happened here. There is, of course, thick black smoke billowing from the scene. There's a lot of
24,000
confusion.
people
The Defense Protective Service, which is the
inside
police
the
force
buildings.
here in the Pentagon, has been urging people to get
So
out of the
12,000
building
people in each
and
building?
move away from the scene so they can handle the emergency situation. Again, it appears that an aircraft of some sort
So those
did
buildings
hit
are about to
the
come
side
down.
of the Pentagon, the west front, which faces sort of toward Arlington National Cemetery. It's a corridor where a lot of Army offices are located.
Wow.
And some
Jamie,
people were...
Jamie, I need you to stop for a second. There has just been a huge explosion. We can see a billowing smoke rising. And I'll tell you that I can't see that second tower. But
Surrounded by
there was
Kiev.
a cascade of
Welcome
sparks
back,
and
Fried.
fire. And now it looks almost like a mushroom cloud explosion, this huge billowing smoke in the second tower. This was the second of the two towers hit. And I cannot see behind that smoke. Obviously,
So the
as you
tower just
can
came down
either.
right when I
The
said it was
first
about to
tower
happen.
In front has not changed.
There you go.
And we see this
The other one's about to come down
extraordinary
now.
and frightening scene behind us of this second tower, now just encased in smoke. What is behind it? I cannot tell you. But just look at that. That is about as frightening a scene as you will ever see. Again, this is
wait till the
going on
second
now
one goes
in
down.
2 cities. We have a report that there is a fire at the State Department as well.
The first tower
And
fell.
that is being evacuated.
It's
So
gone.
we've got fires at the Pentagon evacuated.
Look at the
State
smoke down there
Department
at the bottom.
evacuated. The White House evacuated
He
on the
has
basis
no
of what
idea.
the Secret Service describes as a
Fried Drive. That's when I
as a
woke up.
credible terrorist threat. We have 2 explosions, 2 planes hitting the World Trade Center here in New York. And what this second explosion was that took place about a part of the south, that would be the South Tower, has apparently collapsed. We don't know if that was from the impact of this first plane that hit it or whether something else has happened there. We'll work on that. Our Washington Bureau Chief, Frank Cesno, is on the phone. Frank, what are you hearing?
Aaron, I just drove past the Pentagon across the 14th
He
Street
was right
Bridge,
there.
which is now choked with traffic.
He had no idea what
Beginning
happened.
to
He's such an
hear
idiot.
emergency sirens and rescue personnel standing out across Washington. There is a gigantic black
Patrick
billowing
John Welder.
cloud of smoke.
I was at a
It is
doctor's
rising
appointment
over the
when this
Pentagon.
happened.
You heard Jamie McIntyre
The entire world
a moment ago
paused for
describe
hours.
where that was coming from. I can also tell you that local radio, in addition to talking about evacuations, as we've heard at the Pentagon, the White House is reporting that the Capitol building has been evacuated and the Treasury
Surrounded
Department
by
has been
Kiev.
evacuated. Washington, D.C.,
They should have
the
known,
nation's
with those
capital,
giants
is
clouds at the bottom.
exceptionally tense and
Duh.
clearly taking steps as if it is virtually under siege here. We
Fried
don't know
Drive.
specifically,
The tower's
as you
gone.
said,
At this point, I
what
took
has taken
saddles off
place at
all
the Pentagon,
camels,
but this is
turned them
very
loose in the
serious,
pen, and I
striking at
headed
the
to the
heart of
national park.
government. And as
Stayed
Joe
there for
was
2
explaining,
days.
the White House
Frank,
itself-
One World Trade Center towers just collapsed and they're talking about the fucking Capitol.
Second explosion.
Fucking idiots.
Here in Manhattan
God.
at the Trade Center, we are getting reports that a part of the tower, the second tower, the one a bit further to the south of us, has collapsed. We are checking on that. We are also told that the Sears Tower in Chicago has been evacuated. And what I can't tell you on that is whether there was something specific that happened there, whether there was an attack on that building yet. We're checking that out, or whether there was a warning, whether there was a threat of some sort, or whether that is simply precautionary. What we can tell you is that just in the last several minutes here, 2 or 3 minutes, a second or third, I guess technically, extraordinary event has happened here in Lower Manhattan. You can see this extraordinary plume of smoke that is, or was at least, the second tower of the World Trade Center. Perhaps 3 or 4 minutes ago, you could, from where we were standing, see that second building that is just a bit to the south of the first building, but you can't see it anymore. It is covered with smoke. A large plume of smoke also coming still from the first tower, where the first plane hit at about 8:45.
Fried Drive. Fuck. I just opened an iced tea, and it's the wife's girl drink hard iced tea.
Tape, we can show you that
Fucking
second
gross.
attack, or at least the second explosion in the Trade Center that occurred at about 9:15 Eastern Time. As you can imagine, Lord, there you can see to the right of your screen.
Oh my God, they're going to the plane attack now.
Hijacked American
Instead
Airlines
of covering the
plane.
live burning
It comes into
tower.
the south side, and then boom.
These guys are idiots.
You can see the fire coming out the front, or the
this has already been
north side of the
established.
building. I guess that'd be the northeast side of the
Go
building.
back to the live shot, dude.
And then just in the last several minutes, there has been a second explosion, or at least perhaps not an explosion, perhaps part of the building simply collapsed. And that's what we saw, and that's what we're looking at as smoke now just covers Lower Manhattan, almost as far to the end of Manhattan Island as you can get, is where the trade centers are. The trade, or the Sears Tower in Chicago, has been evacuated, and we continue to check on the circumstances there. The Pentagon, the State Department, and the White House have been
That second
evacuated
tower's about to
in
go.
Washington
Look
as
at all that
well.
smoke,
The president
guys.
Has
Here goes.
we
Watch.
can show you now what happened just a few moments ago at
No,
the Trade
dude.
Center. Watch the building.
These guys are
to the
idiots.
left, to the
Oh my
to the
God.
back
Oh,
of those two buildings. This is just a
that's
few
what just
minutes
happened.
ago. We don't know if something happened, another explosion, or if the building was so weakened it just collapsed. But we have one of our producers on the phone, and I didn't get the name, so why don't we just go ahead? You there?
Yeah, this is Rose Arcee calling from New York.
Rove, tell me what you know.
Just a few minutes ago, we saw there's a portion of the building where the first plane struck that seemed to be buckling inside itself, almost as if the top of the building was going to fall.
It's like these people are in
Shortly
shock.
after that, two
Dude,
people,
one of the
and
World
it's hard to
Trade
tell
Centers
whether
just
they were being
collapsed,
pushed
and
or
it's
they-
like
they
they're
said
not
that they
even
approached
realizing
themselves
it.
The sort of river side of the
The
building.
building
the west
seems
side
to
of
have
the building
collapsed.
appeared to jump from the top floors, just under where you're seeing the smoke and fire.
That is extraordinary. The South Tower, the World Trade Center, has collapsed. Again, tell me, how long ago
Fried
was
Drive.
it that you saw this?
This
He
was
doesn't
about-
even know his
about 5
producers.
minutes
What the
ago,
fuck?
and
Kevin.
prior to that, you could see heads popping out of windows right beneath where that big gaping hole is. So there appeared to be people alive right below where the crash point was and were trying to find some way out of there. And just as the thing started to buckle, you saw them plummeting from
Big
that
Mark
top floor.
83.
Right, and
It's surreal watching this
is
again.
Stating the obvious, we apologize for that, but obviously people were already at work here at the Trade Center when this happened. We don't know how many people have been hurt in all of this. We have no idea at this point. As you look at an aerial shot coming from I guess that would be coming from the south of the Trade Center, or what is at least the Trade Center behind those huge plumes
Surrounded
of
by
smoke.
Kiev.
All
Look, it
airports
says
She just told him people jumped in his life.
collapses World Trade
Blah,
Center.
blah,
has been
blah.
shut down.
Do you see this?
As the FAA and the
Third
government tries to figure out
explosion
exactly
collapse. This
what
is
has
why
happened, what is at
people
risk,
don't
what is
understand
not,
what
who is
happened.
behind it. Are there more explosions, more
Oh my God.
attacks yet to come? Here in New York, the trading on the New York Stock Exchange has been suspended, at least for
Dominic
now.
Leo.
All bridges and tunnels coming into
Maybe
the
he just
city
came back
have
from
been
Maine
shut
1 week
down
before the
as
planes hit the
police
World
try
Trade
and
Center.
clear-
We flew back
clear
1
the
week
way. We
before
can
the
tell you,
towers
we
got
were
hit.
coming in,
Right.
Surrounded by
perhaps an
Kiev.
hour ago.
This is the fuel
there
for
was
conspiracies.
convoy.
Pride Drive.
I can't think of a better word. A convoy.
I remember thinking, why wouldn't they go after the
down
statue?
the West Side Highway.
Oh.
This is in the middle of rush hour.
Nobody would die.
Obviously, every available fire unit here
Going for the
in
mass amount of
Manhattan
people.
has been brought to the Trade Center outside the White House.
The
John
symbol
King,
of
our senior White
American
House
commerce
correspondent.
and
John.
capitalism.
Hello, Aaron. They have pushed us even further back away from the White House now, and there are more than a half dozen fire trucks, some of the Secret Service now patrolling the perimeter in Lafayette Park, which is directly across from the
Dude,
White
look at
House.
that new plume of
Automatic
smoke coming out of the
rifles
top of the
drawn
tower. You
to
see
keep
that?
People away from the park, and they're policing back and forth. You can probably hear additional fire apparatus arriving
thing
on
is
the
burning
scene.
all the way
Senior White House
around.
staffers who were evacuated, all they can tell us is that they were told that there was
Soren.
a credible threat on the White House.
What
as
about
well.
around $2 trillion being reported missing by the Pentagon the day
What we do
before?
not know is
Did it
whether
have
or not
anything to do with the
Vice
day
President
afterwards?
and the National Security Team have stayed inside the White House
don't know.
Situation Room. We know that they were directing and
remember that.
monitoring operations from there as of just about 20 minutes ago. But the White House staff,
Maybe
the
just been a
executive office
coincidence. They
building
miss-
staff,
they lose
and
money
all the
all the
office
time.
buildings around, including the Treasury Department and some government and some non-government office buildings, people have been evacuated out into the streets.
Surrounded by
Again, the
Kiev.
Secret Service now putting up yellow
Probably
police
black
line
projects.
tape, and some of them patrolling Lafayette Park
Surrounded by
with automatic
Kiev.
rifles, which is the scene.
I remember that.
Here across the White House.
Rumsfeld.
John,
Rumsfeld, exactly.
tell us as best you can what the government's national security apparatus will
Dude,
do
is that
right
fire
now.
on top of the
what do you
freaking
guess
roof
is
of
happening,
the tower?
and where is it happening?
Well, I don't want to guess at all, but from the White House Situation Room,
It's
a
just
president
smoke,
or a
right?
vice president can direct a war, can direct a full-scale world war.
That's
The
just
White House
smoke.
Situation Room is where all information it is accessible to all information from the United States
Such a
military,
poor
from the
image.
Federal Emergency
They got it zoomed
Management
out.
Agency, from the Federal Aviation Administration. In this case, the White House Situation Room is prepared just for situations like this, unfortunately, to be prepared in a time of crisis for the president to monitor incoming information and to direct any U.S. military or non-military emergency response. The White House Situation Room is a bomb shelter, for that matter. That part of the White House is a bomb shelter. Whether or not they have stayed in there,
Can you
is
believe we've
unclear.
already-
We
we've
know in
stayed
past
from the-
that
start
would be
from the
their
very
routine.
beginning
We just do not have a direct answer as
to
yet.
where
Because
now
most
we
of the
are
staff,
watching-
if not all of the staff, has been evacuated from the premises.
So I gather you're just not
Waiting
being-
for the
you're not
last
able to
tower
get
article.
any
We've already
calls
seen the
into
first tower
building right
fall.
now, or at least not getting them answered at this point.
Calls you get in. Calls you
Within
get
the
into the
span of
building
2
are
hours.
not
This has
answered at this
been
point.
an hour and 23 minutes
And
into this
more
video.
fire apparatus showing up now as we speak. We saw most of the senior staff come out. We have not seen the national security staff that we would recognize anyway, but I should note there are other gates from the White House. We are on the north side. And this is
John, you're being drowned out by the sirens. Alan Dodd-Frank of our bureau here in New York joins us on the phone. Alan, where are you?
Hi, Aaron. Our colleague Jennifer Westhoven also just arrived. She was closer to the building. I'm just south of Canal Street, about 10 blocks north of World Trade Center. And just before 10 o'clock, parts of the building began peeling away. People started screaming. Jennifer tells me, because she was a little closer to the building, that the police began yelling, "Run, run." And thousands of people started running away from the buildings as they were falling. That was, of
I
course,
believe
followed
the
by a
top of the building
onrush
falls
of
in on
ambulance-
itself.
ambulances and
The
special
antenna,
police
it all
vehicles.
falls in on itself,
Some
builds
people
up
have
and just
told us,
builds
although
up
I
and
can't
builds up
confirm this,
and just pancakes
dozens of
flat
stories of the
down.
building have fallen away, maybe down as low as the 30th floor.
And again, just because we lost a little bit at the beginning, where
Yeah, I
are you
don't see any
physically now? This
explosions.
is
I'm
the
just south
tape.
of the Holland Tunnel.
Did you guys see any
in downtown
explosions
Manhattan, perhaps
when that first one fell?
10 to 15 blocks north of the World Trade Center.
Got it. And the pictures that our viewers are looking at.
Did you guys
this
see-
was that collapse of
Nobody
the
saw any
South
explosions.
Tower
I didn't see any.
just a
I
few
can
minutes
rewind it, but
ago
I didn't see any
here
explosions.
in New York.
Yes, and moments after that, people began running toward us. Jennifer Westhoven, who normally is at the Stock Exchange, was only about 5 blocks away, and she saw the same thing.
Alan, thank you. Let me go to one of New York's deputy mayors, Randy, the former deputy mayor. What are you hearing, Randy?
I only know what I have seen on television. I've tried to talk to some friends.
Here we go. Hand me the microphone. There we go.
I only know what I have heard on television. I've tried to speak to some friends. Obviously, phone lines, communication is difficult. Nothing prepares you in life for a senseless tragedy like this one, but there is no city better prepared to deal with such emergency situations than New York City.
Tell me, based on the plan, what is
He's
happening.
going to brag about how great New York
30
City
blocks
is. I love that. There's no city
Mayor
better
Giuliani
prepared to deal
established early on
with
an
the
Office
death of
Emergency
3,000
Management to
people.
coordinate all the government agencies involved. So you have coordinated leadership of police, fire, health, all the
We're
city
just so
agencies,
smart. We had to build a
responding
building
to
that was
emergency.
impossible to get
They
to if a
planned
fire
for
broke
this kind
out
of
on
event.
it. That's how
Unfortunately,
smart we
this
are.
is not a unique occurrence in the life of New York City or our country. Tragedies like this
It may
have
not be a
happened.
unique occurrence, but it
Little-
is a
little
very
dick
rare
measuring
extraordinary
contest.
It is
one.
extraordinary,
Right.
and therefore, in New York City, we have coordinated
Osama
response,
bin
and
Laden's
they're
like, I'm gonna
responding
chop your
Surrounded
dick
by
off.
Kiev.
providing every help that they can.
Demolitions
under
are
these
partially
extraordinary
done by knocking at the feet of
Hang
the
on one
building,
second. We have
so
a
to speak.
report now
That
of
gets
a
the fall started.
explosion on Capitol Hill, and we are checking that out. We have a report of a plane crashing at the Pentagon being evacuated, fire on the mall in Washington, the State Department evacuated, and we have all flights shut down across the country as officials sort out what's happening here. Randy,
I can't believe how long this
How much
building
of
held
the
out
drive?
for.
If I recall this correctly,
This was the
day
first
we
one that
realized
got
we were
hit.
actually on the couch with our dicks
The
in our
one that got
hands.
hit lower went down
Prepared to
faster.
react.
That was the second
Correct.
one that got
There is
hit.
an emergency management center at the Trade Center.
This one held on for a
clearly
long
the
time.
mayor's not there.
I have not spoken with the mayor, so I don't know his physical location, but I do know that coordinated
Surrounded by
emergency
Kiev.
response started
I
immediately.
think that's why the 90s
It's
attack
something
was in
that
the
city
basement
prepares
forward slash
for, and
garage.
It's something that
They
under
wanted to
these
bring the
tragic
building down.
circumstances, the city is doing everything it can to respond.
How much of the plan changed after the World Trade Center bombing in
Yeah,
93?
exactly.
Well, there was no coordinated city response. There was no mayor's office of emergency management. Rudy Giuliani established that. It's been one of the hallmarks of his tenure. And unfortunately, there are extraordinary circumstances like this one where that coordinated effort has to come into play and is coming into play now.
Why don't you, if you can, stay with us for a little bit?
Sure.
I suspect other questions are going to come up. I want to go through again what we know here at this point, and also point out some things that are not insignificant that we don't know. And one of the things we don't know is we do not now know how many fatalities there have been and how many injuries there are. We can only surmise that this has been catastrophic, a catastrophic event here in New York. Both Trade Center towers hit. One of them appears to have collapsed. How much of it collapsed? These are very large. In any case, we cannot
Doc
tell
Holland
you how
Daisy.
many injuries.
What
how
happened in
many
the 90s
fatalities
attack?
There have been. This
They
is one of those
drove a
situations
truck
that's
that was full of
extraordinarily
explosives
chaotic.
down in the basement of the
Even
towers,
in the best of
and they
planning, I think
detonated
it's
a
fair to say
van
that it is
down there.
chaotic, and officials
did a
are
lot of
doing many
damage.
things at one time.
Explosion
We have
in one of the
a
tower's lower
pilot
levels.
Who witnessed these planes crashing in to the World Trade Center? Sir, can you tell me your name? John, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
John, tell me what you saw.
This morning we were at Midtown Manhattan in a 31st floor of a building facing south. We saw a 767
That tower is
flying
gone.
low down the center of Manhattan Island.
That's the tower that
heading
went down
towards
first.
Downtown Manhattan. At about
Isn't that
maybe
crazy?
20 blocks north of the World Trade
Surrounded by
Center.
Kiev.
We saw the plane.
It was
veered
attributed
the
to
left
Osama
and
bin
fly
Laden,
directly
just like the
into
one on
the
911.
north side of the South Tower.
Dominic Leo.
So this was the second.
The hijackers that
plane
flew them
hit
planes into the towers
This
knew
was the
right
first
where to
plane.
hit the
Got it.
towers.
John,
This is the 767.
got it. John, hang on. Kate Snow's on Capitol
I
Hill.
think you could hit. I
Kate,
think this
what
proved
can
that you
tell
could
us
hit the
about
towers
the events
anywhere.
there?
Well,
They
I'm a
hit
couple
one
of blocks
high and
away
they hit
from the
one
Capitol
low.
Right
They
now.
both
I can tell
fell.
you that about a half hour ago,
Right?
the
Just
Capitol
one took a
building
little
itself
longer.
was evacuated.
I don't think they knew
It
where
was
to
a
hit
little
them
bit
exactly.
chaotic. Everyone was running out of the building. People ran a couple of blocks away. We have now been pushed back by security. We're within 2 blocks of the Capitol. I did see myself a
Fried
plane
drive.
about a half hour ago.
I always thought
circling
bears
over
planned the
Capitol.
whole
Now,
thing.
whether that may have been an Air Force, a U.S. plane,
Bears.
is unclear. But that seemed to be the reason, according to security guards that I talked with.
Oh, Billy, yes, I love your humor. God, keep Billy around a little longer before you whisk him away.
At least
Off
on the
to the
House
dungeon.
side, which is where I'm standing.
He's
There are
entertaining
3
us.
House office buildings. Those have also been evacuated. We're seeing members of Congress are walking
Surrounded by
us here on
Kiev.
the sidewalk.
911 was a grisly job.
Kate, I'm sorry, and if you've said this, I apologize. and I apologize to viewers too, was there, to your knowledge, an explosion at the Capitol?
No, sir, there was not.
And he attacked innocent
I can
people.
See the Capitol from
He
here.
attacked
Everything
innocent
looks to be
Americans.
fine. There was, however, Aaron, a sound about 5 minutes ago that sounded like some sort of explosion. Now, everything's in close proximity here in Washington. It could be that may have
Surrounded by
been something that
Kiev.
happened at the Pentagon. We're not
It's
very
a joke.
clear on that.
Conspiracists say 9/11 was an inside job.
Like a loud boom about 5 minutes.
And Kate, you are
Surrounded
how
by
far away
Kiev.
from the Capitol building?
Comedians say 7/11 was a part-time job.
Pennsylvania Avenue, which is the main artery in Washington, D.C., and I'm about 2 blocks away from the Capitol. I did just see a spokesperson, by the way, for
You're like the
Speaker of
uncle
House,
that
Mr.
you know
Hatcher, Dennis
comes
Hatcher,
over for
tells me
Thanksgiving.
that,
And
Mr.
you leave the
Hatcher and
house
other
for
leaders have
early.
been evacuated
Fried
to what they
drive.
call the secure
And go find
location.
something
I didn't
else
know
to
the
do.
Pentagon
They're
got
aware
hit for
exactly they
weeks.
are, but they've been put somewhere secure.
And because we can't see it at this point, just give me a sense of what it looks like there. Are there many people on the street? The
sidewalks, people are calm. I think most people don't really know what's going on. Most people haven't been watching the news. But
131.
the sidewalks are definitely full of
Here's
people.
134.
Where it was in relationship to where
135.
disappear from the
Maze
skyline.
Garden.
It basically
Here's
Download Twitter
135.
or
I
visit
fast forwarded it.
twitter.com and search at Maze Garden. At Maze Garden Show. At Truthian
Guys,
News.
go
for
to
the full
Twitter, man.
podcast
Help me out on
experience.
Twitter at Truthier News.
YouTube
You'll like
channel
it.
at Truthian News on
I
Twitter.
post a lot of cool stuff on
we're
Twitter,
watching the plume of
like
smoke,
pictures
and
of
debris
Rogan and
just
shit,
waft,
and good stuff, man. Videos.
across, lower Manhattan, and people are lining up at this payphone behind me trying to find out whether their relatives are safe.
Let me just briefly go to Randy. Randy, just look out there and tell me what you're thinking when you see what now appears that at least part of one of the landmark buildings in this city, one of the most recognizable buildings in the country, is gone.
There you go. There you
Fried
go.
drive.
The kind of moment you hope will
When
never
he
come.
asked for a sense of what's
When
going
you
on
have
in
been
the streets,
government, when
she
you
should
care
have
as
just
much about
screamed
this
bloody
city and
murder.
this country as a mayor like Rudy Giuliani does. It's a moment you pray will never come, and you pray for the families of anyone affected by this tragedy. But as a city, you know, we come together, and our emergency services provide every support they can in the face of such a senseless tragedy.
It is an unbelievable scene as
Incredible.
you look down. I mean, we stand here at some point every day looking out at this city this time of year. It's extraordinarily pretty, and you see those two buildings high above lower Manhattan, and you look out there today and you see this gaping hole in one of them, these plumes of smoke that continue to pour from the scene, and you know that there's nothing behind.
Fried
that
drive.
second tower.
These
at least
two
parts of it
assholes
are
acting
gone.
like
We
they're
join
playing
now,
Sims.
one of our affiliates,
Fucking tods,
WNYW,
man.
and their coverage here in New York. Well, we will we'll try and make that connection again in two cities now, and there are a lot of pieces of information floating
Dude,
around.
I think you
We
can
need to,
see fire burning
try and
right,
button up
right,
some of this.
right there. I
We
think you
had
see
a
fire
report
burning at the bottom
earlier
of that.
We now we believe we could tell you is not correct, that there was an explosion at the Capitol. There was none, as we now believe there was no explosion at the Capitol. Air travel routed to Canada has been international flights going into the United States or into Canada, guys. Into the United States. International flights headed for the United States are being sent to Canada now, to airports there, as all air traffic in the United States has come to a halt. The FAA has shut down every airport in
We're
the
going
country.
to Canada,
and
eh?
to our knowledge,
On the United
and
States
we're,
federal government, eh?
This is to the best of our memory. That has never happened before.
Okay,
We're starting
bucko,
to get
here we
some,
go.
Pictures of
Take
the
me to Nova
scene
Scotia,
from
eh?
the ground here in Manhattan. Again,
I
this
wanna
all
see the
started
seagulls
almost
of
an hour
Nova
and a half
Scotia.
ago, I guess, a little more than that. This is a live picture of the scene now. We have crews on the ground, and they've been trying to get tape back so we can show you the situation on the ground. As you can imagine, literally thousands of police, fire, rescue officials have converged on the scene.
Unbelievable how fast that first tower fell.
We don't know how many injured, to be tended to be taken to hospitals, and we continue to check hospitals to find out how many, the extent of injuries. We do not yet know how many fatalities.
I've never heard of that alpha before either, but
there is the scene. This is tape now from WABC here in New York. Their crew shot this picture as you see fire trucks and firefighters, rescue personnel at the Trade Center about 30 blocks from where we are right now. And you can see these huge columns of smoke coming off of the front tower and then a bit from the back. As you see, again, the crews working their way towards the.
I like how they start walking and then they start running again.
1993. That I suspect many of these same firefighters converged on these very same towers after the bombing in the garage level. Help me with this, but I'm pretty sure it was in the garage when a Ryder truck came in and blew up in the garage. I'm not sure it was a Ryder truck, but a truck came in and blew up in the garage, and that was in 1993.
Center, we heard a big bang, and then we saw smoke coming out, and everybody started running out, and we saw the plane on the other side of the building, and there was smoke everywhere, and people are jumping out the windows. Over there, they're jumping out the windows, I guess, because they're trying to save themselves. I don't know. And I don't know, everybody just doesn't know where to go. They won't let, everything is blocked off. You can't even, they're telling us to get out, but there's nowhere to go. And then I heard that another plane hit, and if you go over by there, you can see the people jumping out the window. They're jumping out the window right now. Oh my God.
All right, man, thank you.
Wow.
That is one of the witnesses to this extraordinary.
That went out live on CNN
this morning here in New York.
You tell me CNN is fake news again. You know, this was back when I was watching it.
Many of you, you've
all
heard
the
this
time.
a lot, but I think it's important as people join us as they do in moments like this. They are coming in all the time. That there have been attacks in two American cities, New York and in Washington. The trade centers here in New York have been hit by airplanes. In Washington, there is a large fire at the Pentagon. The Pentagon has been evacuated.
There it goes.
And there's, you can see, perhaps the second tower, the front tower.
Oh, there it goes.
The top portion of which is collapsing.
There it goes.
Good Lord.
Fried Drive.
And
This
you
is
know, there were no
insensitive, but
explosions.
New York accents are to language
There are
as
no
a pile of sloth diarrhea is to
You can see
brunch.
large pieces of the building falling. You can see the smoke rising. You can see a portion of the attacks in two American cities, New York and in Washington. The trade centers here in New York have
Here
been
it
hit
goes.
by
Get ready
airplanes.
for it, guys.
In Washington, there
Boom.
is a large fire
There, it's
at
falling.
the
It's
Pentagon.
falling on
The
itself
Pentagon
right
has been
there.
evacuated.
No explosions.
And there's, you can see, perhaps
No
the second tower, the
explosions.
front tower, the top
No
portion of which
explosions
is
on the way
collapsing.
down. Right?
Good
There's
Lord.
no explosions. Just the top collapsed on itself and brought the whole thing down.
There are no words. You
And
can
it's
see large pieces
very,
of the building falling. You can see
and
the smoke rising.
it's very easy to see when you watch it in real time.
Two American.
So
Fried Drive.
Here it goes.
Can you play that once more?
Yeah, here it is. Here it is again. With no sound. You want me to make it a little bigger or? You'll notice there were no puffs. There were no puffs anywhere. It just collapsed. And we watched it burn, and we saw how long it took for it to burn. The first one went way faster. But same result, right? From the exact same thing, from an airplane and jetliner hitting a building. You know, and blowing up and exploding inside the building.
Drive. I thought I saw an orange flash, but it was fire being forced out. There was a puff. Lower right corner.
Yeah.
Nick Brown.
Yeah.
An explosion would be obvious.
Yeah, no, it would have to be controlled demolition. Would be explosions on every fucking floor, man. You know? But this, you can see the top just fall, you know? It melts away. The bottom is just fucking burning and burning and burning. And then the bottom, the top just caves in on itself, and all that weight goes down on the very first floor. And now it's piled on the first floor, and now that the roof of the first floor is got all this weight
If
on
the
it.
first
it
one didn't collapse
collapses,
so fast, a lot more people would have gotten out of the second one.
and it exponentially goes faster because there's more weight on each floor drop. There's the added weight of each floor. So exponentially it speeds up as it goes down. It's like a dominoes effect. So now they're just CNN producer.
I drive.
It is just one of those.
Yes,
awful
the puff they
moments
speak
that
of was just
we need
migrating
to look at
flames.
for a minute.
An explosion would have been more forceful.
Exactly.
Dummy
what
it, Leo.
happened.
Right.
No, it's
Two
just
of
the
most
aluminum metal
recognizable buildings
that
in
is
the city
melting
of New
down.
York have been attacked, and both of them appear to have collapsed, at least in part.
At least in
the
part.
second of the two collapses taking place
At least
just a moment or
in
so
part.
ago, perhaps 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Fried
there
drive.
are also apparently coordinated
Bears.
attacks that have taken place in Washington
Bears.
on the Pentagon. The State Department has been evacuated. Just a few moments ago, as we said, and perhaps 20 minutes after the first tower collapsed, we turned around and saw what looked like sparks falling, and then the top part of tower number 1 collapsing. These are shots from the ground of that scene. There have been frantic efforts to get people out of the tower. Now this is tape, and you can see now whether that was an explosion or exactly what happened that caused that second tower to collapse. We cannot tell you. CNN's Kelly Wallace is on the phone with us. Kelly, where are you? What can you tell us?
Aaron, I'm just about 4 blocks north of the location of where the World Trade Center was standing. I was actually en route to the command center, people really staring in disbelief. And then as you saw, of course, the pictures watching that tower come down, people just couldn't believe their eyes. Police then pushing people immediately, people turning around and starting running ways blocks away from the site. There is black smoke and is covering the air. You see people covering their mouths with some handkerchiefs and their coats, and basically, it's an unbelievable scene. Most of the people have gone. The police are really pushing people away. There were a lot of people as I was making my way down here, Aaron, people just staring, getting on the cell phone, crying, recounting stories where they sort of, basically had seen what happened earlier today, trying to get in touch with loved ones, very concerned. And then, of course, some people watching the other tower come down earlier, and then a group of people then watching this other tower come down, a woman passing me covered in soot. Basically, the sky is just black. You can't even see down to lower Manhattan from the vantage point right now. The police have cleared off all these streets, pushing people away. Police telling us if you have to get out of here to get out of here, pushing people away. And
So that's all within an hour and 45 minutes of that video. That happened. It happened so fast, and it was over. Anyway. You've got so much to offer, Joe. I just don't want you wasting time on that. I want you taking your video efforts to other places, and definitely not that. I just want you to know what happened, see what happened, experience it, and move on, and do what you're designed to do, bro. You got a lot to offer, bro. So I want to send you in the right direction. You know? That's what's up. Because I love you, bro. I love the shit you do. I love your videos. A Joe-Yo. When's the next Joe-Yo coming? I was supposed to be making videos. I stopped doing it. I just made one the other day. I don't know if I uploaded it. Yeah, I can't remember. The one for podcasters. So I want to do one now for content creators like you. You know, you might not be a podcaster, but you're a content creator. How many content creators are there in the world?
Keep it open.
I want to make another video like my other one, but instead of it saying podcasters, it's going to be for content creators, you know, and it's going to cover everybody. And it's going to say how many, and that we're marginalized and that we're subverted and that, you know, everything's the same. And then at the end, I'm going to have a whole bunch of content creators on the very last page pop up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, just there's all these fucking podcasters and content creators. And,
Drive.
You know, even people putting up tweets.
From now on, when conspiracy theories are presented to me, I'm gonna convince M it was all bears. Bet I can pull it off.
All bears.
Fried Drive.
Mesquidrones. Mesquidrones. Dude, I can't wait for my neighbor to come over because he's going to be putting in this drain for me and see that I've already dug the fucking channel out for him. And he's going to be like, what, bro? Oh. Did you hear that? I wonder if you guys heard my back pop. That felt so damn good. Oh my goodness gracious. So you want to know what I did yesterday? I trimmed the ginger trees. We've got these giant gingers. They're almost like a palm. They're really pretty. But there's a bunch of dead leaves inside there, and it made the trees look ugly. And I went in there and I trimmed out all the dead pieces.
Tennessee is eaten up with conspiracy nuts.
So when you look at them now, it's all green.
They think lizards are to blame for their pizza being late.
Lizards are... Billy, that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, I don't know how many content creators there are in the world. You know, they said there's like over 2.5 million podcasters. But how many content creators are there? If you can find that out, let me know. I've been spreading out this
Squarelo.
Hey, Ice!
GM bro.
Good morning, Iceman. Hello, how are you, good sir? I've been live for 2 hours and 36 minutes, and I need something to drink. Stat. I'm looking at this amazing job I did on this backyard. I still have some more stuff to do here and there to make it look perfect. Spread out the pine chips a little bit more evenly. I've got some extra right there I think I can use. Spread that out. Water it down. Boom. Done dealio. What challenge is completed? Talking to me, palsy. Doing it right. That's what's uppity. Hey, we're looking at you when we're doing it. Oh, God, when that bear walked by, man, it was just amazing to see that so close up. I'm like, bear! Big bear! Big bear! Big bear! That reminds me, I got pizza in the fridge, man. Fuck! What? Pizza in the fridge? What? Don't forget about your pizza in the fridge. Pizza in the fridge. Pizza in the fridge.
Froggy. What strain best for cold weather?
Be prepared, hey, bucko. Yeah, hey there, yeah, bucko.
Drive.
That's what you gotta do there.
I got mad anxiety today. Too much shit to do.
What's going on with the market? Bitcoin's at 21,500. Talk to me. Talk to me, baby. Look at that. Look at that market. But Harmony still. Like I said, I need Harmony to be at 0.27 and it's at 0.217. So it's killing me. Ethereum's doing good. And Luna's down nice and low if you wanted to get some Luna. Yeah, if you were looking to pick up Luna, now would be a good pickup time if you want to make some quick money, because Luna shoots way up when the market drops. If that's
Mark
what something
83.
you're looking to do, you know, you want to make
Cold pizza in the fridge.
Quick
Nobody is even doing cold pizza anymore, Paul Pius.
You want to make a quick $100?
Fried drive.
Get you some Luna right now.
I recommend a nice
$1,000
infidel
worth.
for cold weather.
Ride that bitch up to
Keep
50.
the flame on it. It'll burn eventually.
Get you $100, son.
Big Merc 83. Unreal.
And you got $1,100. Then you could do it with $1,100. Again and again and again. Keep jacking it up. Luna's doing that right now. So if you want to play, this is the one right here, Luna. You see how it says 0004, 094? Look how low it is. Yeah. It goes way up. The 24-hour high is 48. It's at 40 right now. So it goes from 40 to 48. That's almost a lot. Because math.
Drive.
You're welcome, Joe.
When I need $100, I mug a homeless guy. Joe. Thanks, Nene.
I did a whole show just for JoJo. For the Jojo. You guys remember, please go follow at Shut the Fuck Up Shitlib on Twitter. Because you'll put something like that up on Twitter and then people start feeding into that, like I noticed, and they're like, watch this one and watch this one and watch this one. And they're all convinced of this and that and the other, and they'll start conflicting with each other, and your brain will just melt inside your skull. Those rabbit holes are bad. Some people can be really convincing. That flat earth guy, man, that guy that talks like this, the flat earth guy, and he says he's a scientist and he talks like this, and all those flat earth people believe him. Dangerous shit. All right. I've got some gardening to go do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to garden. So I hope you enjoyed the 2 hours and 41 minutes of show. What happened to Iceman, I wonder? I wanted something to drink. Dude, you know, if I got a coffee, I'd keep going.
Mark 83. Hash keep it open.
All right. I'm going to get a coffee.
Mark 83. Thank you, Nay.
So my friend that believes in 9/11.
Wade into water. Should I get on Twitter before you get mad about it? Lapland. Hash keep it open. Nick. Sup, Merc. Leo. Made from aluminum. Naze Garden. Download Twitter or visit twitter.com and search at Naze Garden, at Naze Garden Show, at Truthian News for the full podcast experience. YouTube channel at Truthian News on Twitter. James McGill. Cheers, nay, good morning. Drive. Yo, when your tracking on Amazon comes with a GPS location of your stuff, does it mean it's in an Amazon truck?
Gotta be safe about it. You gotta be safe about it. Hey, Beasley. Hey, Beazle. Hey, I was just shooting the shenanigans with my mom's geese. We're having fun. We're sipping a cappuccino. We're chilling out. Hey, I only lost one viewer. What's up, everybody? You guys keeping your eye on Bitcoin for me? I'm going to take my pills here really quick. Harmony, goddamn you. Come on, do something, Harmony. Do something, Harmony. Do something. Why are you not doing anything? I said that and it went down. You like that? Psh, it just dropped. Come on, Harmony. Why do you hate me, Harmony? What did I get? My kafefe? What do I got in my kafefe here? Oh my God, that is so goddamn good. When your tracking on Amazon comes with a GPS location of your stuff, does it mean it's an Amazon truck? I'm not sure. That's a great question, Fried Drive. I'm not sure about that. But God, I love that GPS tracking on those deliveries. I love it. And you get that with Uber Eats too, bro. You can see exactly where your food is, man. And after the last delivery, so that way you can't see where the last home is. If there's someone in between you and there that they stop, they won't show you that. They won't show you anybody else's address, where they're getting picked up at, but As soon as they drop off that last one and they get out on the highway or something, then they show the Uber ones. It's pretty cool. People are like, man, I'm not letting them put a fucking tracking device on me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you already got a tracking device, son. You got multiple tracking devices. I guarantee you, man, you're being located like 6 ways to Sunday, bro. You know, and it doesn't have to be injected into your body. You're carrying them around. You're driving them around. You're fucking playing video games on them.
Valentine.
You know?
I want a god location of my fecal matter so I know when I need to be home.
Your fecal matter?
Yo. Big Mark 83.
Nikki baby.
Retweetosphere at Show.
Retweeted via Show. Yeah, great idea because I'm still live. Got a fresh cup of coffee, baby. We're still going here. We're doing an extended version. I could be out gardening right now, but the garden looks beautiful. I swear I was going to go out and I was going to just kind of fix the pine chips back here behind me. And then water them down a little bit and make them nice and pretty. But it can wait. It'll get done. I am loving this coffee. 2 days in a row, just fantastic coffee brewing. I must say.
Mark 83.
Fantastic coffee brewing.
Hash keep it open all day.
Hash keep it open. Hashtag nay all day. What's on one of my t-shirts? Hashtag nay all day, I believe. Do you think if you typed in hashtag nay all day on
It gets
Twitter,
me how
anything
fast
would
we
come
knew
up?
who was behind the whole mess. Let's go to war.
Let's go to war.
Billy Valentine. My place is disheveled. Gotta get my shit together. Joseph Porres. Good morning, Nay.
Hashtag nay all day. Enter. Nope. Nobody uses that hashtag. Oh, wait. No. Nick Brown did. Nick Brown did Nay all day, and it's the fuck you Nay's Garden
Valentine.
Nay all day t-shirt.
Try keeping your house in perfect order with a woman and 2 kids that give 0 fucks.
Look at that. Nay all day. That's a Nick Brown tweet right there. Fuck you. Hashtag nay all day. End police brutality now. Ah, yes, the old bearded Nay. Yes, indeed.
Trendy Nick. Love my shirt.
Yeah? Is it still hanging in there? You wear the shit out that motherfucker? $21,500 Bitcoin, everybody. That's what we're looking at right now. And we need Harmony to do something. Look at Harmony. It literally is at 0%. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's literally at 0%. What are you doing, Harmony? Why are you at 0%, Harmony? You're so weird. How long can you stay at 0217?
It's pristine because I don't wear it much. I wear the trendy as Dabbers shirt often.
Oh, you wear the other one? Oh, because that's the fuck you shirt, right? Nice. Ethereum is blasting. Dude, I don't know. It's way up right now. The market, Ethereum is way up. Holy shit.
Mark 83. Hash
Let's
NLRC.
look at everything else.
Trendy Nick. I know I can't replace it.
VRA. Where's Luna? Luna's at the very bottom at -14. You could ride that up. I'm telling you guys. You guys, Luna goes from negative to positive, negative. I've been watching it every day.
Nick. The hoodie has held up, but the big
If you
Triash
wanted
oil
to
logo is starting to crack.
If you wanted to snap out just a quick profit, man, you could do it on Luna right now. It's down so low. It's at -15%, and it'll go up positive 50%, and then go back down, and you can get out, once you do it. Try it with $100. Get $100 right now of Luna. Let it go up to 50 and then
Meadows.
take it out, right?
I like to dab in some day trading.
Wait for it to drop all the way down again and then do it again with whatever you make. If you made, whatever you made over the $100, and then do it again. If you made $200, then, or it'd be like 150, then take the 150 and do it again. And then you'll have 300, do it again. And then you'll have, 600, right? You'll double it. Well, no, you won't have that much. You won't double it every time, but okay, the first time, if you did it with 100, then you'd have 150. The next time you do it, you'd get like, I don't know, 75. So then you'd have like 220 or something like that, and then you do it again. Whatever you profit on. It's at -15% right now. The market's gonna swap it all. That Luna, it's volatile as fuck right now. It is just bouncing around like crazy.
Meadows.
I like to dabble in some day trading.
225.
Yeah, Chris, do it, dude. $100. If somebody's got a lot of money, just do it. Do it with $100. I don't know where to get Luna at. You'd have to go to CoinMarketCap and see where you can purchase it. I could go look at some of the exchanges and see where it's available. When something is down really low like that, man, and you've seen it up really high, it's an opportunity. That's what I did with a few of them. It's gonna be let's see. It doesn't come up here. Huh. Unless they changed their letters. Let's check CoinMarketCap. Let's find out. Let's see.
Drive. How would you trade homeless people? They are on the down low and they are really high all at once.
Oh my God. Where's the search at here?
Dominic Leo.
Markets.
Nay, you nailed it.
Luna. Terra Classic, LUNC. So at Luna, this one says 558. That's the wrong one. So I guess I'm looking at Terra Classic, which is LUNC. Right? Let me see here. Terra Luna. Wait, where'd it go? Where is it? Terra Classic. Here it is. Found it. All right. So where's it available? Markets. Dude, it's only available on like one of my exchanges.
Leo. Hash keep it open. Big Merc 83.
It's called LUNC.
Look what I found.
It's called LUNC, not Luna. It's LUNC. Oh. Ooh, I found it somewhere else.
Big Merc 83. Hash keep it open. Fried Drive.
I'm gonna get $100.
If you don't use a PayPal debit MasterCard, I suggest it. I just got $10 back from a $40 ATM withdrawal. Chris Meadows. I'll check it out. Big Drive. I got the stainless steel card too. Try cutting that one, Red Lobster.
LUNC. They don't list it. So you can't get it here. These motherfuckers. Unbelievable.
Hey nay. Big Merc 83.
What's up?
I like the longer shows on Sunday. I have time to sit and mingle more.
Cool. Oh my god, dude, really, dude. Really, dude. Really, dude. Oh my god, dude. Really, dude. Oh my god, dude. God, what's America? Oh my god, dude.
Mark 83. I need to go to Homder. I'm building a third tortoise pen in our yard.
Okay, Loon C. Trading at 3.39. Dude, it's they're giving it to me cheaper than what it's listing right here.
Mark 83. Sorry, it's quiet. I drive. Tortoise is delicious.
Dude, I need my glasses. I'm gonna try to get $100 of Loon C.
Mark 83. Fried.
Oh, it just went back up again. I don't get it. Oh. Oh.
Mark 83. My turtle is ravenous. He will eat your toes. Fried drive. Did you know if you have anything made out of a tortoise it's 5 years in jail in the US? But one trip to Indochina and they throw it at you for free.
I'm so confused right now. Oh, here we go. Okay, we're going to figure this out right now, what I'm doing here.
Garden. Download Twitter or visit twitter.com and search at Nays Garden, at Nays Garden Show, at Truthian News for the full podcast experience. YouTube channel at Truthian News on Twitter. Big Merc 83. My punk-ass dad has a Native American war rattle made out of a red ear slider shell. Fried drive.
Do what now?
The tortoise trade in the USA is managed by a small group of racist polar bears.
Unreal. Nobody's even doing it like that anymore, palsy walsy. Nobody's even doing you anymore like this, palsy walsy anymore.
Mark 83. Fuck those bears.
Bears, dude. Unreal. Freaking bears.
Drive. Being forced to smoke reclaim. It's better than The Godfather. Stay away from that elephant tranquilizer. Big Merc 83. Unreal PSSH.
Yeah, I got a notification there. That's good. Now I have what I need.
Drive. I made the mistake of removing the purple parts and saving them for last. For the last 2 days I had trouble remembering my passcodes.
I just got $100 of Loon C, guys. There you go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go to you know, 50 or whatever. And then I'm going to pull the money out. And then I'm going to let it drop again. I'm going to do it over again. I'm going to see if I can make money doing that off of Loon C, because Loon C is going crazy right now. Like I said, it's at 40.32. And that's where I purchased it at, right? So let me see how much information this gives me here. I want to track this. Oh, cool. It gives me all the information. Came out to $99.77. I ended up with 247,946 Loon C's coins. And there doesn't seem to be a fee. I mean, I guess it was 33 cents or something. Something like that. I got it 40.23, and right now it's at 39.98. Now it's dropping. So, of course, as soon as you buy something, the value drops. There it goes. Oh, if only I'd waited. No, it went right back up to 40 again. Okay, hang in there, everybody. It's just when this market goes down, that's when Loon Sea is going to go back up. It could take a couple days. But it's a reverse hedge on where I put most of my money, because Loon Sea does the opposite of what the market does. Right now, Loon Sea is down at negative 15%. While Bitcoin is at plus 133. And VRA is at plus 11%. So we'll see if we can ride this one up, man. I'll have to try to keep my eye on it, which means I have to track it on my CoinMarketCap. I got to add it so I can keep my eye on it there. I thought I had it up. Oh, was I using it on my cell phone? Probably. Anyway, you guys are awesome and fantastic, and I love you, and I hope you had fun. I still got some Covfefe left. But when I finish it, the show will end. Just so you know.
James McGill. Cheers. Fried Drive. So John McAfee's wife blabbed on him saying he's alive and in the Pacific Ocean on a super yacht.
That's funny. That'd be great if he was.
James McGill. Cheers, everyone. Have a great day.
All right. Later, buddy. Okay. Terra Classic, it's called. And we got $100 worth. And we paid it. It was at 4023. 23. That's where we got it. And we got it just now, which is fine. There was no fee. We'll put the notes of where we got it. And then we'll add the transaction. Now we should be tracking, hopefully.
Mark 83.
Okay.
Just looked at menu at dispensary. It appears prices are getting cheaper, but product is becoming watered down.
Terra Classic, okay. And now I'll be able to keep my eye on it and see what it's going to do. The CoinMarketCap gives you some really good tools. Yeah, it's in a really good place. And it's been jacking up. And if it jacks up super high, man, like it has, man. So I saw it up to, yeah, it got all the way up to 58. Just a few days ago, it was at 58, guys. So that's fucking sick.
Drive.
Where it is right now at 40.
I'm afraid to hang these swords
back
now.
up again, man.
If I fuck up, I'll die one night just trying to take a piss. Big Merc 83. Soar GDP ants for $90, but THC content only 13.6%. Doesn't seem right.
Huh.
Michael Howland. Like your new glasses. Trendy nay all the way. Good to see you watching crypto.
What's up, Michael Howland? I'm excited about my new crypto purchase. I spent $100. And just to see what Luna's going to do, I have a feeling it's going to just explode. And I'm going to pull that money out, dude. I'm going to pull my money out because I know it's going to drop again. pull the money out, let it drop again, and purchase it again when it drops again. This is what I'm going to do on Loon C. I think I can do it. And if I can do it, then I can teach you guys how to do it. And if anybody wants to do it, you can purchase Loon C right now, $100. Get in on it with me. And, it doesn't always work out for everybody that does this with me. Warning, that's your disclaimer. You might lose all your money, but you might make some money too. So the way my prospectus of Loon C has been going, I've been keeping my eye on it, and I'm telling you, I've been watching it go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I think right now is a good,
Mark
nice
83.
time to get it.
Also, Super Skunk Ants $80 and 12.7 should be stronger, right?
I could see it going down to like 20. I mean, let me see. Over the 7-day period, it was down to 25. It got all the way down to 24, guys. So within the last 7 days, it was down to 24. Wow, that's not even, doesn't even look like it's reflected on here, but this is 1 month. Oh, full on 1 month. Yeah. It was down to 24. And then within the 1 month, it was all the way down to 13, 12. It was like flatlining. So this is when the crash happened. Oh my God, it was at $90. This was at $90, guys. It got all the way up to $116.
Howland. You have a financial tool. Just got to monitor well. Wish I knew more about crypto. Can be volatile. How's the garden, eh?
The garden is growing beautifully outside. I'm working on my mom's outside yard, and it looks really nice. Yeah, I use this and CoinMarketCap, but I'm using this as well to monitor. And I'm watching Loon C right now is all the way down at the very bottom at 14.4%, and I just bought $100 worth. And I'm going to try to make as much money off that $100 as I can on Loon C. And then when that $100 is as much as I think I can get, I'm going to pull the money out. I'm going to get Loon C drop all the way down again, and I'm going to do it all over again. And I'm going to see if I can keep increasing my amount of money here and see how much money I can make. If my calculation is correct, then I should have, $1,000 before I know it after a few trades. It might take a week or a couple of weeks, but yeah, that's if my calculations are correct, because I'm watching this crypto go up and down and up and down and up and down.
Hey, Trendus.
Hey, Griffin. And I only put $100 in, so if it's bottom totally drops out on it.
Fried Drive. So there's a guy in Australia that is the rightful king of England living in Australia. Direct blood relation to Edward IV. The plot thickens.
Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if he's going to claim his rightful crown and make that stupid King Charles dude sit the fuck down. Ooh. Hey, I'm rapping lyrics and rhymes all day. Hey, my arms are freaking tired. I just flew in. Oh. I'll be here all week, folks. Look at you. Looking at me. Hey. That's what's up. I finished my coffee, And I love you guys. But I'm going to go because, 3 hours and 22 minutes. That's a show, son. I love y'all. I'm not no freaking Oracle doing 8-hour, 9-hour shows, all right? You're going to have to go to the freaking Oracle show for that. He's probably still live right now. So go over to his show and tell him I sent you there, okay? Let's just say I rated him. I'll get you a link if he's still live.
Drive. Charles is a fucking weenie. He failed the Boy Scouts.
Right?
What the fuck? Griffin.
Wait.
May owns the throne, can't get close to his zone. Oohoo.
Oh, it's a premiere. Okay, never mind.
Trendy Nick. Hash Nay all day.
It's not
Big Mark 83.
He's still live.
Later dude. Fried Drive.
Where's the freaking
Later.
article show?
James McGill. Cheers, good show, show nay.
12 hours.
Big Merc
Okay,
83.
He's not live anymore.
Hash
Anyway.
nay all day.
Oh, he cut him at 12 hours.
Gemma Cannabis. NLRC.
Dude, they were going strong at 12 hours and they cut him off.
Griffin.
Wow.
Big Merc, what dispensary are you going
It's all
to?
a matter of who's, I guess it just shows.
Thank you for recognizing that, Tim.
Yep. I guess it just shows, whoever's in charge of the purse strings is going to dictate the quality of life. And that's a shame.
It is definitely a shame.
And I don't think that, and I don't understand how the bands work. And I'd be interested to know how many different types of bands there are and how many chiefs there are, but I guess it'll never come to a point where there's one major contact for all of them, because I guess they all have, I don't know, different views, different opinions. I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand it enough to make a comment on it. I have questions. That's all.
Your two major figures.
Big Merc 83. Saints in Tucson, Arizona, Broadway, and Kolb.
Those are your two big guys in Canada.
They just cut him right at 12
Those are the two
hours.
that need to speak up.
You're only allowed to do 12 hours, I guess. Live stream. Because look, he's got 30 seconds left right now. They were just going.
Well, it's got to be something like that.
They haven't gotten any results in the past, though they're not really expecting anything right now. They plead, they beg. The money comes, and then the government contractor takes that money and says, "Oh, by the way, we need an extra 3.7 million to complete this contract." They
just cut him off. Wow, man.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, shut up. Nobody cares. You idiot. Drop dead, motherfucker. All right, so anyway, I love you guys. You're great. I got some things to do outside. I'm gonna go do some stuff outside, and I will see you guys on the next show, whenever that will be. I don't know. No, it'll probably be later today. Let's see, it's 11 right now. Maybe sometime around a 4 o'clock show or something like that. I don't know. We'll see how long it goes, because I'm gonna go outside and do some work. All right, love you guys. Take care. Let's keep our eyes on that Loon C and see if it takes off from the 40. If the whole market crashes, that's when Loon C takes off. So we'll see if something happens. It'll be really interesting. All right, you guys. Bye now.
Later, boy.